it's working now. Yes, we're live. There we go. Yeah, all good.
Let me check it out. It'll come up on my screen as well.
Fuck, it's not work. It's fucked up your thingy. Hold on. Discord. It's to be this one. There. You guys are good. It's working now. Hopefully nothing else fucks up happens.
Oh, bro, yo, the stream for me
Oh, just wait.
looks
Wait
weird
for
on it.
yeah. Wait for a second. It will fix itself.
Okay, yeah, okay. Let's see if it works. Hey man, sorry, you guys good?
Yeah,
We
I'm
didn't
good.
get
I'm
to
good. I'm
talk
good.
before we went live. You guys good?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. We'll just do on the stream, man. That's better that way. Do everything on the
Facts,
stream,
right?
basically.
I don't know. It feels so
Okay.
weird. The season's like almost over, right?
Literally, bro, flew by, honestly.
I know.
Let's
Wild.
see. Let's just share everything. Make the share with everyone. So yeah, the
Shoot, sorry,
stream
I
was
messaged that from.
got to share the link with everyone, and so X, yeah. The tweet as well.
Perfect. So I'll send them the link. Perfect. I think we're good on my end. April 26 is crazy, bro. Wow. Time is absolutely flowing, eh, boys? Sorry, how you feeling, bro?
A bit hungover. I've been with the Tottenham boys celebrating. Quickly met up with them in London, you know. Celebrated this week.
Man, I love that, bro. So, how was like the final for you guys? Like, I'll walk you through my experience, and then you guys go next. So, like, I actually went out with my bro Benji, so I picked him up, and then, I mean, he's a Man U fan, so he was like absolutely buzzing about the game. So, like, I picked him up, and then, um, we went to this like bar in downtown Toronto. It was a full Manchester United bar, so I was fully in enemy territory. I don't know if your experiences were the same or not, but yeah, he was a little bit disappointed at the end of the game. But Benji's so like level-headed. He knew his expectations weren't that high, you know. But I
Mm.
really enjoyed it. Made the most of the night out, you know. How about you guys?
I was in a pub in London with my family, and funny enough, our table was the only table supporting Tottenham in the pub in London. So even in London,
Wow,
Man United had the advantage. It's just such a big
wow.
club in terms of fans. So
Even in London, that's shocking.
mhm. The
Yeah.
armchair fans, haven't we? So
Mm. I was looking at it, like, even though they've been pretty low in terms of their success recently, they still have, like, the most followers on Twitter, Instagram, like,
yeah, they're
huge,
massive.
bro. Crazy, bro. You
Just
think they'd be bigger than, like, Chelsea or Arsenal? Yeah, right? But, like, their success has come historically, not recently, you know? A lot of the newer fans probably won't grow up, you know, supporting Man U just based on recent events, you know?
Yo, are we ready to cook? What's going on?
But I was just there was another post already on the account, so I just make sure there's not people are not confused. So I just deleted that. So for a brief moment, obviously, it removed you guys from the cam. Just looking at the chat, obviously, shout out to my boy Maino. Said, how's it going and whatnot. I think he's asked you how you doing, Kanji.
Oh, perfect, bro. Shout out to my bro Mano. Yeah, I'm chilling, bro. Excited to break down the last week of the season, man. You got like
Yeah,
big things on the line. Stark said it perfectly. You got like mini league rank on the line, and as well as overall rank goals. You know, it's gonna be interesting. Um, yeah, you guys ready to cook?
yeah, ready to go. Let's go. Let's crack on, Kanji.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the FPL Roundtable Podcast. This is episode 26. I'm your host Kanji FPL, and I'm joined by my co-hosts FPL Kayman and FPL Stark. How are we doing, boys?
Good man.
Mm.
Good. Ready to you know what? It's sad that it's the last game week because this game gives us a lot to do during the weeks, a lot to think about. So I am gonna miss it, but I'm gonna embrace game week 38 and all the shenanigans. So I'm looking forward to this podcast.
I'm doing good, man. In life and everything, I'm just blessed. I'm always grateful. Alhamdulillah, I'm good doing well. How about yourself, Kanji?
I'm chilling, my bro. I'm chilling. I'm curious to hear, like, this is my second season, like, creating content. Like, how are you guys feeling? Do you feel a little bit burnt out towards the end? Are you excited for the end, or are you like, what are the feelings in your mind?
Well, I've done a lot of work with content this season. I've had some success as well, to be honest. And I think Stark mentioned the other day as well, like to do content and have a good season is very difficult. And our approach was to, when we did this was anyways, is to not just only, was to be not just like, we didn't really claim ourselves to be experts because you can't really be an expert in a game which revolves around so much variance and luck, right? So we came with the approach of being it rather than just experts, be more entertaining and for entertainment purposes. So I'm sure those who have us watched us not only gained some insight with FPL, but also was entertained. I mean, we've done a bunch of things: match of the day, watch alongs, even on our pods. Right, we roasted each other. So yeah, I mean, it's been a really good ride so far. I feel somewhat burnt out, but I'm still happy to be in the position I'm in and the success that I've had so far. And yeah, love doing the pod with you guys, and it's been a really good journey so far, man.
I'm glad, bro. Sark, hopefully you're feeling the same.
Yeah, bro, 100%.
All right, before we jump into like game week 37 and reviewing it, I did just want to talk about one specific club, and it's Manchester United, bro. You know what, Kayman? Last week we came on the podcast and we had Netflix FC versus Manchester United. Who was going to be having a better season? And you know what? I cannot believe it. Manchester United have pulled the wool over our eyes. Even I thought Manchester United were going to win, but they actually didn't. Hear just your raw take on like what your thoughts are on the final, how you feel about Manchester United. You know, you are one of the best clubs historically, but how you feel about where you are right now.
Um, there's two sides to the coin, right? If you're talking about there's more important things in life than football. Sometimes you gotta think about life in a way where at the end of the day we're all gonna die one day. Um, so I tend to prioritize. Listen, I don't want to get all philosophical right now and all emotional right now, but ultimately there are bigger things to worry about in life than Manchester United right now. So that's all I'm gonna say. The emotions are obviously sad, disappointed, embarrassed, shocked, um, humbled. Yeah, yeah, man.
So
Yeah.
losing the cup final to Tottenham's got guys quoting like Gandhi and that in the podcast, bro. Get out of here, bruv. Hold this L, bruv. What are you talking about? There's more things to life than football. No, there's not. Football's everything, and hold that. Don't try and get away with that around here. That.
Bro, I was trying to get some sympathy in the chat, man. Look at this guy, he just killed it immediately. I could get no sympathy, bro.
Hey, yo, this guy's getting philosophical, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I try to be getting people to be emotional, think about something more than football. This guy said, fuck that. You're gonna hold that L.
Yeah, man.
Bro,
Yeah.
it's been
Yeah,
the
just
most
quick.
wild season. Go
Just
ahead, go
quick.
ahead.
Good. There's a lot of good evenings in the chat. Just want to say good evening. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah,
To
shout out.
everyone.
There's I think it was Getty FPL, Emma, Claire, Adil in the chat. So what up to everyone? And Cayman, I have to be 100% honest with you, bro. I actually don't know what's going on with Manchester United, bro. You guys are one of the biggest clubs historically, and you're having a season where you're finishing 17th or 16th in the league, and you're not even close to European football. You've lost the European final. It's horrendous. Like, what is the best next step for Manchester United? Cayman, like when I think Manchester United, I think of Benji, Cayman, and Aldo. So I just want to hear what is your raw take. I'm hearing news. People are looking to get Bruno out of the team. Imagine if you didn't have Bruno, where would you be this year? Garnacho looks like you need to sell him in order to raise funds, in order to rebuild for the squad. You're not going to have any Champions League income or Europa League income to rebuild. It's going to be a long process for you guys. And I know now, after you lose the final, this is where Manchester United fans get out of their delusion. They get the reality check. Like now, oh, you know what? We actually have fallen off from where we have been. But we've seen the writing on the wall. We've talked about it earlier. But I still had the faith for you guys to beat Spurs. But I can't believe you guys gave Spurs their first trophy. Oh my God, K-Man, man. What are your thoughts, bro?
Look, if you want me to analyze the game, there's nothing to analyze. The game was absolutely dog shit. Let's call spade a spade, right? Objectively speaking, from both teams, they were dog shit. In terms of United, the team that Spurs put out, like technically speaking, other than the defense, like it was their B team. if we're really being frank, it was literally they beat him. Madison wasn't there, Son wasn't there, Bergville wasn't there. So there was a lot of Kulusevski wasn't there. So they were literally missing at least 4 to 5 players that normally start for them. And we couldn't create a single big chance, or that was a decent. I think we created one big chance, but in the first half, anyways, we did not create a single big chance. When they were playing, they beat him. And the fact that Amorim started Mount and Shaw when they have only played maybe combined probably 4 or 5 games the whole season, that to me is a red flag, and that obviously made me tweet out. And I've since he joined the club, I literally did not. I've cut him so much slack. So I said, listen, we're 16th, 17th. It's not because of him. It's because of the team. And when he came in, I backed him from the very beginning. But when I saw what he done with that lineup, and the fact that he waited 70 minutes to make any changes, that was for me. That's when I said, yeah, I had enough is enough. The guy's on fraud watch, and I'm not sure if he's the right man to take us to the next stage in terms of Manchester United and where we're going. Because a manager who's arrogant, who's stubborn, who who will literally who will lose his way rather than change or adapt. I feel like in football, one of the key skills that no matter how great you are, if you're not able to adapt, even the greats of the greats will fail. Like, for example, I'll give you a good example with Messi, right? Messi in his heyday when he was in his prime, he used to put team on his back and carry them, right? But he never really got over the edge in terms of winning a World Cup, even though when he was carrying, doing all the dribbling and everything. But come this last World Cup that he won, he didn't win it all by himself. He had a team around him, like his guys like freaking DePaul, McAllister. They were doing the dog works for him. Whereas he took it in terms of doing a defensive work or tracking back and whatnot, he was able to walk. So ultimately, he adapted, and he only came in when he needed to be. You know what I mean? To be involved. He didn't need to do everything at all times. So Amram needs to basically come away from that control so much and adapt his game. And especially in a final, you do not know what you're going to expect from the other team. Based on what you see, you're supposed to adapt. The fact that it took him 70 minutes to realize Mount is not the guy to win in this game is shocking to me. The fact that it took him 70 minutes, or even actually 95 minutes to realize that Cash was completely useless and he had to bring in Ugarte is pathetic, bro. And it's unacceptable, in my opinion. So from that perspective, in terms of blame, and if you just go from in isolation, just final, I think it's on Amram number one. And number two is the guy that everyone calls world class, the guy that everyone says best player of Manchester United, which he was this season. He was our best player. But that best player, come the big moments, what did he do for us? He lost the ball 27 times. And the reason why we consider it a goal is because of him, bro. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
unacceptable from me. So, yeah, man.
yeah. I'm with you. I think there's one key thing to bring up. It's like, Klopp came in, he revolutionized Liverpool. We had Balotelli starting in our starting lineup at that time. He came in, he changed the culture of the club. He turned us from doubters to believers, and he changed all of the players in the squad. He got the whole thing and he rebuilt. And he did it very well. And then we sold Coutinho, we got the money, we bought Van Dijk, we bought Allison, our whole club changed. Arteta has done the same with Arsenal. He's moved on the deadwood like Lacazette, Aubameyang. He took Saka from a left back into a right winger. He's become one of the best players in the league. Manchester United needs somebody to come in to help rebuild that situation. So I look at the players in this team and I think they're just not good enough, bro. And like Bruno can take the blame. I
Players,
think
managers,
Amram gets the
owners, I
blame.
think it's all of
Everybody
it,
gets the
Kanji.
blame.
I think it's everything, Kanji. I think it starts with the owners, then the managers. So the owners, front office, then managers, then players. I think that's what needs to happen. We need to change the owners. And I don't know if that's gonna happen. If it doesn't happen, we're still gonna be mediocre. Let's be honest. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And the worst part about it is like you're not gonna have that much money to spend unless you sell players because you don't have much income, right? And it's gonna be a long rebuild for Man United, bro. This doesn't look like a quick fix at all.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. We're in the mud, and there's no way I can defend myself in this situation. I just gotta pray and hope for the best, and it's literally it. And we're literally in our banter era at this moment in time. Unfortunately, it's the truth. But
Yeah, but
we're in our
yeah.
banter era right now, so it is what it is.
Yeah, and Stark, if there's anything, let's try to look at it from a Spurs perspective, right? So I know, like, you were watching the game with like your family. A lot of them are Spurs fans. Do you have any takeaways on what the night was to be with the Spurs men?
It's a great moment for them. I was very happy for them, knowing them. They all cried, the grown men crying. That's what it meant to them. Do you know what? Like that is Kayman's right. There is more to football, and it was wonderful to see that game bring that amount of happiness to them. So yeah,
Yeah, congrats to them, man. Listen, they deserved it, and listen, they've won after 17 years. Even though I'm a United fan, I'm happy for them, honestly. Even as a
oldest
United
quote,
fan, yeah.
oldest quote of all time, and apparently, season 3 is always better than season 2. So on that note, let's start cooking FPL because man, I'm itching to talk about some of the assets to bring in, man. I don't know about you guys.
Let's do it. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
100%.
Kanji, I think your team is up first, my friend.
So game week 37 was, I think it was fine. I mean, I went into this week like hoping Palmer would absolutely smash at 5% EO, but he blanked against the backup Manchester United team. Surprisingly, ManU's like lineup in that game was better than I thought what it was going to be right before European final. But Palmer blanked. He's been blanking. He pulled the wool over my eyes. If I had an extra transfer, Palmer to Saka would be nailed on. I mean, if we knew Saka was starting for next week, but the team looks great. Konza saved the game week for me, and I do have to say it's been a horrendous season. I was ranked like 3 million at like game week 16. Then, so from the turn of the season, from game week 18 onwards, I'm ranked in the top 100K. So my second chance rank is in the top 100K, and that's the one thing that I can hold on to. And I just have to look back on the season and try to improve. And I think selling Salah was my worst decision, and I'll try my best to keep one of Salah or Holland in my team, specifically for captaincy going into next season. But wild week, but happy to just take some points and move forward at the small green arrow. How about you guys?
Okay, I think Stark, how about yourself? Bro? You're up next. You got 67 points. You got the highest points out of all three of us last week, actually. So you smashed it.
Yeah, I had a really good game week. Kind of disappointed in Watkins, man, because I just think he should have smashed more. Like he should have got more points. It's Villa at home, Tottenham. But yeah, Cunha just stupidity, man. Stupidity, bro. That guy in Isak. But yeah, that defense, man. Nico Williams is a goat. How is he getting 2 bonus points whilst conceding and not getting an attack in return? He's a tackle
Wow.
monster, bro. Tackle
Yeah, did you
monster.
see his data? It was unreal. I think, if you look at the
Big
underlying data
tackles.
for it was 8 tackles, they had multiple interceptions. I think the thing with Nico Williams is, like, he has very good baseline bonus. So even when he blanks, he still has a chance of, like, getting a sort of return, and whenever they keep a clean sheet, he's usually high in terms of potentially getting the bonus. Obviously, Sells gets the save, so he steals a lot of the bonus, but it's that guy, Milenkovic. The algorithms didn't like him, but he just delivers, bro. He gets so many chances. He's so big. He's so tall. He revolutionized Nottingham Forest, right? They were conceding a lot of goals from set pieces. Not only did he stop those goals from going in, he's actually getting goals from the set pieces himself. He's been one of the best FPL assets this season.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree.
Look, I haven't owned him, so I can't really I can't really celebrate his points. But as Stark said, I think Nico Williams also had his fair share of his returns, which went under the radar. Let's be honest. Some of the weeks where he used to pull off with clean sheets and 93 bonus points, that went under the radar. He also scored a goal another week, and then he also had a few assists. So I think going to next season, if Nico Williams is going to be 4.5 a bargain, I think he'll be my team, especially if they have good run of fixtures. Even though I understand Milinkovic is a goal threat and whatnot, but I still prefer Nico Williams. But yeah.
I've owned Milenkovic in a draft league all season, and he's just been, oh man, in one of my draft leagues, I've owned Sells and Milenkovic from game week 1 all the way through, and they've just absolutely done bits for me. Just
All right.
what an unreal duo.
I
Can we
had
talk
50
about
points.
Jared Bowen? I think both you guys own him.
Yeah,
He's just been so consistent and reliable, huh?
yeah, I'll touch on him quickly. So I've got 50 points, and I'm on the red arrow. Listen, ain't no real bum. Cunha is a bum, and Watkins, as Stark said, is disappointing. However, the shining light is obviously Bowen, who's been extremely consistent. In regards to Bowen, I remember when I was buying him Kanji, when Benji said, "Oh, you got Stark, who got you got Stark got you wrapped around his fingers." When I was buying him, and I think Mbima had first at the time. Like, I'm sorry, buying Mbima versus first is a skill issue first and foremost. And I've said that, and I'm consistent with that. And I went with Bowen, and I think he's outscored him since Forest fixture. I think even though he's taking along with 8-9 points, I think he's outscored Bowen. So both of you guys can hold that. And nobody got me wrapped around no fingers, bro. I was high on Braun even before Stark was. So let's not go there, right? Second of all, second of all, can I just say a lot of haters were on Marmoush. How about that goal? Like, how about that goal, bro? Goal of the season, bro. Absolute banger. I
Yeah.
mean, I didn't watch it live. I was on football. I had a football session, and then I was on my way, and then I heard that he scored an absolute worldie. I got home and I watched it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is why, guys. Listen, this is why you gotta, you gotta eye test. Eye test is king. I knew Mamush was gonna score a worldie. That's why I kept him in my team. Fucking chicken.
Yeah, but
This is not hindsight. This is foresight, bro.
you know what the skill issue is? You don't own Cucurella, man.
Oh
What
shit,
a
you're right.
baller. You don't own Chelsea's top scorer in 2025
Yeah, that's a
with
skill issue.
easy
I'm not gonna
fixtures,
lie.
man.
That's true. That's true. You know, yeah, you got me there. Also, I don't know if you guys saw the game. I watched the highlight as well. And then Marmoush set up KDB in 2 yards out from the goal, and the keeper wasn't even there. It was an empty goal, and KDB completely skied it or hit the post. I can't remember exactly, but what the
Yeah.
hell? I got robbed off another what? That would have been one extra bonus points plus 3 or 4 points for an assist. 5 points, bro. Like Marmoush should have had 13 points or 12 points,
Yeah,
Thank you
it's
something
for
like
your
that.
wild.
thank you for your service, KDB. We can't let these Marmoush guys get more points than us. Thank you. You've been a
Ah, bro,
wonderful servant
KD,
to us.
nah, bro, KDB costed me another 5, 6 points, bro. That's an L. But yeah, man, listen, it is what it is. Red Arrow couldn't really do much. I didn't anticipate Cunha getting benched, so that was an L. But it is what it is. Let's move on. And Kanji, this is your favorite section, mate. I know you love to talk about league and table position because obviously you're on the cloud nine right now. But go on, mate. Let's cook.
Yeah, so I think going into the last game of the season, you really want to look at like the league table to see like who has the motivation um to go on and try to like fight for things. It's going to take me like 30 seconds for the graphic to pop up, but I think the main teams first of all you want to be targeting are going to be the likes of Newcastle, Chelsea, Aston Villa, and Forest. These are the four teams I look to try to win the games in the last game week of the season. You have a team like Arsenal that potentially obviously want to win, but they could rotate, right? We don't know 100% if Saka is going to start. I think they haven't locked up second place like 100%, but I think with a point they would against Southampton. I think they'd be fine. They could rotate, though. I do want to say for Liverpool, they don't have anything to fight for, but it's the last home game of the season. Salah is looking to fight for that goal and assist record. He's on 46. The record is 47. He wants to probably try to at least tie it. Probably wants to break it and set the record himself. You know how Salah is. He knows all the records. He's aware of everything. There's nothing to fight for in the relegation battle, of course. If you look at the bottom three teams, those guys are completely on the beach. And then, of course, we have Manchester United and Spurs at the bottom of the table. Spurs are probably going to be drunk. So you'd probably want to be targeting some Brighton assets going into the final day. And yes, there is the likes of Brentford, Brighton, Fulham, Bournemouth. They're all still fighting for that last spot that could potentially be in the Europa Conference League. What you need for that to happen is you need Chelsea to actually fall out of the top five, but also win in the Conference League for them to get a spot in Europe. But nobody's going to know what's going to happen. So I'm sure those teams are just trying to play their best 11 to pick up the results in the final day, regardless, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a there's a lot of context for teams that wants his assets. I think you're spot on with Spurs. Probably drunk, bro. They were out till 5 a.m. in the morning today because they would had the parade. Like, you just go on their social media. I think recent news has Romero injured for the game. Basuma is a doubt, I think. So let's see if they rotate Van de Ven as well. Son's not going to be available. So yeah, I think Brighton need to win, don't they, to secure? Because I think there is a story where top eight, eighth place can get European football. So if Brighton win, they'll be the team in eighth, and they'll secure. I think it's Conference League. So they do have to win that game.
For me, the one thing that stands out is obviously, I'd say, especially in a last game where you want to target. Like, as we know, there's going to be really high scoring, right? Last game of the season. I think you want to target the home teams. Home teams tend to perform really well. So like, which we'll obviously get into the next section. I think like obviously teams like Liverpool, even though they're on the beach, I think they would want to do really well. I think Slot said that Don judges in the last 4 games that they've been losing, judged them on the last game of the season. So I think he will play a strong team. Same with even like teams like I think even who else is at home? Newcastle. I think they've been going for Champions League. Chelsea as well. So this team they could definitely show out. One of the things that puts me off, I understand what you guys are saying about Spurs like being drunk and whatnot. I get it, but if we look at the most recent example with Palace, like they've actually beaten Wolves 3-2, even though they actually won the FA Cup 3 days before. So drunk teams sometimes at home can still perform, So I don't know.
Yeah, but I
Mhm.
don't think Palace are comparable to Tottenham this season. Tottenham are 17th place, and we've seen every game week how they perform in the league. Like, I don't s- I, like I just and Palace aren't the kind of side this season who have been walloped the way Spurs has. They don't play with a high line like Spurs. And Palace still played key players. As they obviously had 45 minutes, but they still had Munoz in there. Did they still play Guehi and no, Guehi missed out, didn't he?
Mhm.
Yeah, Gahey, yeah,
Henderson was there, Munoz was there.
yeah.
Mhm.
Mm. It's a good point that you address, but do think do I think in the reverse leg it was 3-2. So that's a lot of goals with and Van de Ven and Romero all started that game, I think. So I do just think there's goals in that game. Spurs at home,
Yeah.
they like to take the game to their opponents. They play on the offense, they play with a higher line. When they're away, they can drop off a bit more, but at home, you
Yeah,
No,
see
so
you're
just
right.
like
Yeah, yeah,
just to address like the Palace and Wolves fixture, like Wolves also rotated. Like Cunha is on the bench because of the rumors about Man United. I'm sure if Cunha plays in the game, it changes the way Wolves play as a team, right?
100%.
And I did want to mention about like the Brighton assets, right? Like you have Danny Welbeck in the striker position. There is Pedro news that he's not going to be. He had a bust up with JP Van Heck in training, so he's not going to be part of the Game Week 38 team. But things are going to be okay. So that means Danny Welbeck's probably nailed for 90 minutes plus penalties, which takes him up a tier in terms of how good of an asset he can be. And I'll do a breakdown on Welbeck versus Evanilson on the next slide. But just historically, like looking at Game Week 38 historically, right? Usually we do see a lot of fireworks. Think two slides down.
yeah. I'm
There have
showing it
been
now.
some
Yeah,
absolute destructions, right? In Game Week 38, there are certain games where you can get 3 or 4 goals for a team. Historically, in Game Week 38, it's the highest I think there are the highest amount of goals in Game Week 38 historically, and this is like a consistent trend. Arsenal have the most goals in Game Week 38, by the way. And once again, they have an excellent fixture. When I was doing my like fixture analysis, I already bookmarked Saka as my Game Week 38 captain. It's unfortunate he probably won't play 90 minutes. He'll probably get a 60 minutes up even if he starts, and I may not even own him at this point, but definitely one of the biggest wildcards to consider would be like the Arsenal players for sure. But I did want to mention it. Do you guys have any thoughts on the Game Week 38 analysis?
Yeah, fireworks. What the perfect description. There's always goals. That's why I'm pretty sure the majority of us are looking at our defense and we prioritize maybe 37, 36, 35, 34 on those wild cards, and 38 our defense is not looking too good. But just don't make defensive transfers in game week 38. We're all looking at making attacking transfers, midfielders. Nah, I do suspect goals. Look at the data, it speaks for itself. There's always fireworks. Always.
can I just
And I'm
mention, by the
hoping
way,
that
last season there was
oh,
37 goals scored in a single game week. By the way, in 38, 37 goals.
that's a hell of a
Um,
lot, man.
Like
wow.
that's crazy amount of goals, man.
Wow, that's actually insane. That's basically like 3.5 goals a game.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I want like I'll go and say, right. I don't usually do this board prediction, right. I think versus one of those promoted teams, either the Leicester versus Bournemouth or the Arsenal versus Southampton, or I think one of those two games, or I think I would say Spurs and Brighton. Those three games could literally be fireworks. Like they could be like I'm saying 5, 6, something like this amount of goals. Like we could see any of those games.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
What do you think about Saka? Do you think Saka is going to start? Because I am incredibly tempted. I want an Arsenal. I really think Arsenal are going to smash him. I don't know. I think Arsenal are going to take that game. Just one of those games that Arsenal could just score 5 goals in. I don't know.
Yeah,
Mm,
I mean, look, it depends on how Southampton sets up as well at the same time, right? Because Arsenal do tend to struggle to break down low blocks. I know you guys are gonna say, yeah, because they've got set pieces, but set pieces from like the assets that you're gonna own, like they're not really on set piece threat. Like for example, if you had Gabriel, fair enough, right? Or if you own someone like Rice, or maybe if you own someone like Partey or Kivior, yes, then you might get some share of the set piece. But otherwise, like Arsenal sometimes do tend to struggle with low blocks, man. So I just hope that Southampton they don't really park the bus, and hopefully it's a bit more end-to-end game, and then obviously the likes of Saka, Martinelli, Trossard, Havertz, they can all basically feast. But yeah,
yeah.
So if you
So
didn't,
like one
okay,
year.
here's a question. Sorry, Kanji. Sorry. If you didn't get Saka, right? Let's say Saka doesn't start. We get team news that Saka doesn't start, but you want an Arsenal asset.
yeah,
Which other asset would you bring in?
Trossard,
Mm,
Trossard, or
yeah.
yeah, Trossard, yeah, I think Trossard starts. Yeah,
Yeah, I talked to somebody on Twitter. His name is FPL Discomfort. He's on free hit in Game Week 38, and he's a massive Arsenal fan. I think he's looking at Wanyeri and he's looking at Havertz potentially. I just think those are too risky, man. Like like I think even if Havertz starts, he's not going to be getting that many minutes. Like he'll probably get 60 minutes. Like he's just coming off the injury. Wanyeri, if he's starting, I think he'd be a great pick. But I think all eyes on Martin Odegaard. I mean, he's had a return in 5 games in a row. Nobody has been talking about him. He's had an absolutely horrendous season for his own standards, but I think he's sort of just reinvigorated because he has Ben White back on the right hand side and right back. He's got Bukayo Saka potentially in front of him. He's rebuilt the connection on that side, and he sort of refound himself in the midfield. And yeah, I think if I was going to take a punt on Arsenal, that's where I would go to answer your question.
See, Havertz is a problem because Stark, at the end of the day, they're not going to play him 90 minutes. He's just come back from injury, right? He didn't start the last game, right? If I'm not mistaken. So,
He came off the bench. Havertz came off the bench
okay,
for
then he
like I
could
think
start. Yeah, you're right. He could start and get 70 minutes. Yeah, then Havertz is a good option. If he's already got the minutes, he came off the bench, he's already got the minutes, then I think, yeah, that's fine. Havertz is a decent option.
it's
But,
controversial.
yeah.
It's controversial. It's close because Marino got that suspension. So does Marino come straight back in and play that false nine, or does Havertz that game
No. If
build up
Havertz
his
is the Havertz plays. Havertz is the natural position. If Havertz is fit and healthy, I think Havertz starts, bro. I think he
I don't
does.
think his minutes would be great though. Like if you compare Havertz's minutes to a Welbeck or an Evanilson, Evanilson and
No,
Welbeck, they're
yeah,
touching
they're
80
not comparable. They're not.
straight.
He's not touching Evanilson and Welbeck in terms of minutes. I don't think so. No.
Same as Saka, Saka versus Salah, right? For example,
Oh
you
yeah,
know
Salah's got
Salah's
the
getting
minutes.
90
Yep,
minutes.
facts.
Saka, Nwaneri there, and Semi on the beach.
Yeah,
Saka's probably going to get 70 to 80 mins.
yeah,
But the
facts,
fixture's just
facts.
Mm.
amazing. I
Yeah.
do think Saka's EO will be under 50% in the
Shout
Mm,
top
out to
if
Bruno,
100k.
you
by
want a
the way.
differential,
Bruno in the chat laughing at our pain says, Johnson again, ole ole. Whatever, mate, whatever. I don't know what team you support, but yeah,
what?
piss off, mate, piss
What's
off. Don't
Tottenham?
be
He
one.
sports Tottenham. Buna sports
Shut.
Tottenham. Buna, I bet
Yeah.
you were
Oh,
gassed,
for
bro.
fuck's sake,
Oh
bro.
man.
Fucking
Buna's been
Tottenham, man.
trolling the whole community all season, and he just gets to laugh on Man United fans one last time. What a
Buna, bro.
season Buna's
Listen, Buna. All I'm gonna say, bro, it's a Mickey Mouse trophy, bro. At the end of the day, bro, no teams freaking came from the Champions League and they drop off. The competition you had, you played a bunch of nobodies, bro. Come on, let's be honest now, bro. You played on artificial pitches, bro. You didn't even play real football. I'm sorry. There's an asterisk on that trophy. Let's just go spade a spade. There's an asterisk on that shit. Yeah.
Mm.
Let's
Who
go.
who else
You know,
is a Ben White? Sorry, Ben White from Arsenal, because I know Raya's tied with Sells for clean sheets. I think
Let's do a
people.
yes.
ranking then, Stark. Let's do a ranking from attackers to defenders. Let's do attackers first. For me, it's Saka, Trossard, and then I'd say Havertz. That's my top three if I was to get any attackers from Arsenal. The defenders would be White, Kivior, and Paulie Rhea. That's it. I don't know about anyone else starting. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right, spicy.
Makes
Ben
sense.
White is a spicy
Yeah.
pick. If you're on free hit, I'd
Yeah,
definitely have him.
yeah.
If you make a defensive transfer, I'd probably be prioritizing Ben White
Karkas
if
and
you want to
White.
make one.
Yeah, Karkas and White, which we'll obviously
Yeah,
cover right here. I mean, look, we'll just go to that slide
yeah.
right now, actually, so no
But the,
problem.
the key, the key, you know what? The key domino came in is
Yeah.
actually press conference information on Isak. Do we have a slide on that? Maybe
Yeah, we do. Yeah, there
that we
we go.
could
Yeah,
walk through.
there we go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
What are we thinking? What are we thinking? Isak really dictates the market. I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Go on, stock. I don't know if you can see this slide or you want me to. Should I cook here?
Yeah, you got it,
What
bro.
was
All right. Okay.
what was the
Cool.
question again? Sorry.
So it's Isak regarding the press conference and what Eddie Howe said about him.
Oh
I know
yeah,
it's
I own that
meaningless.
motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah, it's meaningless. But look, ultimately, I think this is the conclusion, right? I said Alexander Isak and Kieran Trippier will be assessed ahead of the visit for Everton, and neither of them trained up until Friday. They did not train even in Friday, so they're probably gonna train on Saturday earliest. So it's one training session enough for them to both of them to for both of them to start. Like I highly doubt that, bro. So what do you guys think on Isak and Trippier?
Ah,
I mean, bro,
Isak,
that
man. Isak is it's such an annoying circumstance because I think he could cook versus Everton at home. St James's Park going for top five, and they need to win. Everton without Braithwaite and without Tarkowski, they're completely on the beach. They played their last game at Goodison last week. Guarantee they were partying after saying farewell to that stadium. I just think, like, so for example, someone like Gordon, if Isak's out, could reap the benefits of that. Other hand, Isak, man, surely he starts if he's fit. Surely, if there's any chance and they have to win this game, surely he's in that starting lineup.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. But remember, 2 weeks ago there was news that came out that he's going to have an operation in the off season, right? So we don't actually know if he's already out, and the coach is just like making up lies. You just can't trust him at all. We'll be waiting till the deadline to make that transfer. But Isak dictates the market. He's easily the best striker. Most of us already own him. He's the best striker to own this week. If he's fit, it allows you to make a move of maybe potentially Palmer to Saka or Palmer to some sort of midfielder move to another Arsenal mid or a Bournemouth midfielder. Um, if you liked all of your attackers, if Isak's fit, then you could also make a move in defense. I'd be considering Ben White in that position because I actually love my team. I have two Bournemouth assets as differentials in my team without making a transfer myself. But yeah, I just think like we have to wait. And my instinct tells me Isak is going to play. I think regardless of the result they got against Arsenal, assuming they were going to play at the Emirates, they had to pick up a win in order to be like having like nothing to worry about in game week 38. So I think they rested Isak, and the idea was to just play Isak in game week 38. So my assumption is that he's going to play, but we'll see what happens
Bro,
closer to the deadline.
sorry. Bro, I'm laughing at the comment from Ollie. He put Kanji already suited up for United's funeral tomorrow. Kanji came prepared for United's funeral in this podcast, man. Look at him. Kanji, where's the
Can we get back to FPL, please? We have 22 live viewers. They would want to hear about FPL. United is not the topic of conversation. It's Newcastle United. I think you guys got confused with the wrong United, but we're talking about Newcastle United, not Manchester United. Anyways, going back to the point in regards to Alexander Isak. But go on, go on, Fox.
Yeah, Isak, I think
Oh,
I do think if there's any doubt, don't risk it. You've got Welbeck, you've got Evanilson there. I just think, yeah, man, just go for one of them. Even Havertz. Don't don't
I,
don't stress about game week 38 team.
I'll
If he
make it
gets
easy for you
revealed that he's
guys.
starting,
Yeah, go on, sorry, go on.
keep him. Perhaps. If
Yeah,
if it's
yeah,
revealed early, then
yeah.
I'd probably keep him.
I'll make it really easy for you guys. Yeah, if 10 minutes or 5 minutes before the deadline, you don't hear anything concrete on Isak starting from any reputable accounts, the likes of Harry's and Focus and whatnot, or even on X, any of these Newcastle ITKs, and you don't trust them, Isak is 110 billion% a sell because of if you go into that last game thinking of what if he starts? Even if he starts, it's not guaranteed that he's bracing. I'm sorry, it is not, and it's also not guaranteed that he gets 90 minutes. The guy's carrying an injury, guys. Let's be honest. He's carrying an injury, and if he was fit or if he could train, he would be training on Friday, right? Let's do the math right now. So
100%,
Isak
bro.
is a sell.
100%.
Isak is a sell unless you get a concrete news 10 minutes before the deadline that he is he's fit to play or he's starting. Like you have to get the take on he's starting, not he's in the part of the squad. He's starting. Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
even keep
Yeah.
him if you know what I mean. That's the only reason why I keep him because I've faced the same scenario. I've been in the same scenario with Gordon, and I ended up getting burnt. Like because I went in there thinking, yeah, what if? So don't
Same
be
with
in.
Cunha in 37. I
Yeah,
got burnt the exact same scenario. I didn't know.
yeah,
Started him thinking he could cook a drunk Palace. Had to
yeah,
take that risk because the FA Cup games were first.
yeah,
Cunha gets benched.
yeah. So
Like,
yeah,
I
don't
will
take
say
that risk.
though, I will say I got burnt in the opposite direction. I sold Isak when he played Liverpool at Anfield, and I sold him to Jackson, who had Southampton. Jackson didn't even play. Isak, I think, had a brace or a goal and assist that day. So
but that was because of Eddie
Isak
Howe,
is
though.
in, bro.
But Eddie Howe lied,
Yeah,
though. Eddie Howe lied about Isak's availability, and then Isak came out himself and said, "No, I'm fine." Eddie Howe literally said he's not fit, and then Isak did an interview saying, "No, no, I'm fit." That's how we found out that he's fit, and we didn't know
facts,
beforehand.
bro.
Like it
Yo,
wasn't your fault, Kanji.
is anyone interviewing Isak this evening so we can get some
That's what I'm
information
saying.
from Isak himself?
That's what I'm saying. Unless
It's
Isak says
wild because
himself, it's
like
wild, bro. Go on.
it's wild, but if they lose or drop points this game, right? I don't think they will, but if they do, they could actually lose Isak in the summer. Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester United, lots of big clubs are gonna come knocking for Isak's like name, you know. So they need to pick up this win. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping that he plays myself. But I think you put it
And
perfectly. We can move on to Isak replacements, but I did want to mention one more player, controversial asset for game week 38, and it's actually Trent Alexander-Arnold. Do you think Trent is going to start in game week 38 in his final game at home, or do you think Bradley continues to get the start to build up his minutes?
Bradley, 100% is Bradley.
Yeah, I mean the
Trent, no.
comments. The comments that's come out. He's basically saying he's not been happy with Trent in training, and those are the comments. And he said that ultimately the fans are not happy with Trent, so I don't think he'd want to make a toxic environment and risk it on the last game of the season where it doesn't mean anything and they want to lift the trophy. I don't think he would want to do that. So I don't. If I
Yeah.
had Bradley, I'll start him, and I don't think Trent starts personally.
I mean, Trent's just had like a storybook career at Liverpool, so if I was the coach, I would give him the start regardless. Did you hear what Klopp said?
Yeah,
And he came out, and I think there was like some sort of conference where he was at, and he was basically telling the fans that like Trent was the reason that we have had so much success, and like we shouldn't be booing him, and he was disappointed in the fans for the way that we've been treating Trent, and this isn't us, you know. And I just it's one of the craziest moments because like I'm a biggest fan. I'm literally Trent's biggest fan. I swear to God. In the whole FPL community, I love Trent more than anyone. It's like the way he's been treated at the end is just heartbreaking. And just like big shout out to Jurgen Klopp. Like he's already been a legend for Liverpool, but just he continues to be this type of guy. Like you just have so much love and respect for Klopp, and he's trying to rebuild the relationship that Trent has with the fans as he goes into the final day. Whether or not he
But
starts, it's not up to us, but hopefully he gets
I
cheered on the final day.
understand why some fans are booing him, but obviously we're not here to discuss that, so I won't go into it. I just wanted to talk on Bournemouth because I watched that Bournemouth Man City game and I thought Bournemouth were horrible, and I thought Cliver in particular was horrible. And they have got some key injuries in their side. Obviously, Cook is suspended, Ryan Christie's out, and Alex Scott is also a doubt. And I do think Ryan Christie is a big player for Bournemouth, and I think he enables Clivert because whenever I watch Clivert, he looks like he's blowing after 60 minutes. It's almost like Christie is his legs, so Clivert can get forward, unlock other players, be creative further up the pitch. I wouldn't be confident Bournemouth Leicester in the manner you guys will think. I think obviously there could be goals at home. Mason leaving, Kirkes leaving. No, I think
Um,
Bournemouth have been struggling.
I understand what you're
Great
saying.
fixture.
I understand what you're saying, but then did you hear what the manager says? The manager
They want to
said that
finish top 10.
they want to finish top 10, and the manager said that look, like even if I feel like even if they don't, because they know that that squad is about to get rinsed out, bro. They know. So the likes of Hoyson, the likes of what's it called, Kirkers, like these guys, they're gonna get to top clubs and whatnot, right? They would want to show up on the last day, bro. I genuinely think like obviously I don't expect it to be like maybe 6-7-0 or something like that, but I'm saying they would convincingly win that game, either 2 or 3-0. I can see it for sure, and as long as I feel like you gotta have at least one attacker there. Like you don't have to triple up on them, but I feel like you gotta have at least one, either Semenyo or Evanilson. And yeah, man, I don't see them losing that game personally. I don't. Considering the season that they've had. Yeah,
I don't see them losing either, but I wouldn't touch Clivert with a barge pole. No,
I
I
wouldn't.
wouldn't get
No, no, yeah,
Clivert.
no, I wouldn't touch Clive. Hell no,
Yeah,
yeah. It's
if you
Evanilson
if you
Kayman in
or
own
the
him,
chat.
yeah,
you're
yeah.
yeah. If
El
you own him, you're
Canoes.
stuck. Yeah.
No, Bateman in the chat said El Canoes party versus Bournemouth.
We will
Hopefully
be
not,
there.
bro. Hopefully not.
We will be there, bro. Because I want Leicester to score. So yeah, we will be there for Bilal Al Khunnus, bro. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah,
Yo,
man. You
Kayman with
can't
the
have
narratives
Kirkes getting
already,
a
bro.
clean sheet.
That's what I'm
Can't
saying,
have
bro.
Kirkes getting a clean sheet, bro.
Facts, bro.
This clean sheet needs to get wiped out, bro. Oh, by the way, I completely forgot to mention this. Anyone on free hit up? There's a couple people that have had Estepinian on the bench for this fixture, I think, or they've just had him for some reason.
Yeah.
He had 5 shots versus Liverpool in the last game. Was it 5 or 6? That's huge for a left back.
It was Danny Welbeck that had 6 shots last game. Yeah, so
Estepinian
they
also
probably.
had a lot of shots.
I'm
Look,
sure he did. I remember I was researching it with
I
you.
would still not have a defender versus Spurs, bro. I don't care, bro. I still wouldn't have one. I think. I know he's a good pick, but I think I would have White and Kirkers ahead of him personally. I would have White,
Yeah, it
Right.
makes
Kirkers, and Livramento ahead of Stupinia personally. Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, it makes sense.
Estepinian had 5 shots versus Liverpool, 2 inside the box.
Look,
What a
he's a good option.
differential
Yeah.
going into game week
Yeah. Yeah.
38.
Look, he's a good
Mm.
option. It's just yeah. There are other options, right? So yeah.
Of course. It's just if on a free hit, for example, I think I'd have him.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. That's a
Right.
good shot. It's a good differential. You're right. Um,
So the key decision is like Isak, right? So Isak out, and you've got Danny Welbeck and Evanilson, right? So do you guys have a preference between the two?
Evan for me. Simply because it's Leicester, right? And the fact that Bournemouth is at home, and you gotta keep in mind, Danny Welbeck is away from home. No matter how drunk Spurs are, at the end of the day, they're at their home. They're doing their trophy celebration, and Ange probably wants to keep his job, and he doesn't want to add another loss to his record. So as much as we want to think that they're drunk, I like to go with the narrative because I have no Brighton at all, and that's me being biased or not. I'll be completely honest here. I think there is a chance that the result may not turn out to be what we expect, which is probably a thrashing for Brighton. It may be the opposite, but yeah.
What do you think, Stark, between Welbeck and Evanilson if you had to pick one to replace Isak?
Um, it's close. I'm personally leaning towards Welbeck myself. If I was forced to pick only one of the two, probably go Danny Welbeck.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
I think. Yeah, I guess. I did just want to mention I broke this down in my notes. I'll read to you like what I researched. So if you look at it first of all from an XGI per 90 perspective, Evanilson's at 0.55, whereas Welbeck is at 0.47. So just purely from XGI per 90, Evanilson's clear. Let's assume both guys have good minutes, 90 minutes going into the last game of the season. You know, Bournemouth do have injuries to some of their squad alternatives. So I don't think, you know, you'd see many people coming on to sub Evanilson off. And John Pedro's already confirmed out of the game. So both guys, let's say their minutes are good. And let's look at the opponent. Brighton are going to be playing against Spurs away. Spurs are 17th in the league for expected goals conceded, conceding 60 goals over the season. Whereas even Nielsen's playing against Leicester, who are 18th. They've conceded 70 expected goals conceded. So essentially, like from an extra per 90 perspective, Welbeck is like 10% better. From an expected goals conceded, from an extra per 90 perspective, even Nielsen's 10% better. From an expected goals conceded perspective, and it's again another 10% better. Now, I have to caveat that by saying that, you know, Spurs are drunk. Romero's already confirmed out of the game. Like, who's going to be playing in that position? Like Ben Davis or something like that, or Danzo or something. They're not really going to be on that level. They're already pretty poor defensively. So I think from an underlying data perspective, I think it's pretty even. Also, including the fact that Welbeck will now be on penalties, whereas over the season, I don't think he's taken a pen, maybe taken one. So his data isn't skewed by penalties, whereas it can be in this one scenario. So to me, from an extra per 90 perspective, as well as from an expected goals conceded perspective, it's even. Yeah, I'm like, okay, this is actually really tight. So then I want to look at their game week 38 like return rate, right? So, like, if you're looking at game week 38, Danny Welbeck has 3 career starts in game week 38. Last season in 2024, he started at home versus Manchester United. He blanked in a 2-0 loss to Man United. In 2022, he started versus West Ham at home, and he got a goal and an assist for 11 points. And then in 2017, he was at home to Everton, where he got 2 assists. So he basically has 4 returns in 3 games in game week 38. Oh, that's Danny Welbeck, right? And then if you look at Evanilson, now Evanilson wasn't in the Premier League. He doesn't have the history that Welbeck does in the Prem, but he started 3 games in game week 34, which in Portugal, which is the Portuguese version of game week 38, and he blanked twice and had 1 return. So just from like specifically game week 38 narrative perspective, like it's, you know, it's really tight, like from both perspectives. The algorithms really prefer Evanilson. That makes sense. He has the better fixture, better underlying data, and he's at home. But I think us narrative merchants, the likes of maybe Stark or myself, I think we'd probably prefer Danny Welbeck. And I think yeah, you just have to. There, you're really splitting hairs. I just think to me, the fact that Welbeck's on pens, he has a good game week 38 record. I think he's the punt that I would go with if he stacks out myself. Did I end up
Well,
changing your opinion or not really?
no, that was I like the really interesting data you had from Welbeck in game week 38. Obviously, I know Evan Nilsson's one. It's not really relevant, but still nice bit of research. Uh, yeah, Danny Welbeck. Hopefully, he does an 11-pointer minimum again. But yeah, you know, it was only in game week 30 that Bournemouth lost at home to Ipswich 2-1. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion just because they're playing Leicester, they're guaranteed to win. That Bournemouth are inconsistent, and they have been recently. They've been poor. But Evan Nilsson's a great asset. I think both will do very well. Anyone who can get both, I think they're laughing.
Yeah, honestly, they are. Yeah, yeah. Look, listen, I'm on Evanilson. Like, I'm targeting Leicester, so I'm set on that. I know, Kanji, I appreciate you reading out the stats. I was listening, and yeah, I'm on Evanilson still, bro. I test, innit? I test is king, so.
All right, let's
uh,
move on to the
uh,
positional data, bro. Let's see what we're cooking
Before
up.
we move on, should we just, because obviously we didn't touch on the, because I'm on the best buy section. I know a lot of people are
Oh,
looking
sorry,
at
sorry.
the, yeah, I know a lot of people are looking at, well, like what players to buy and prioritize. I already mentioned we would buy attackers over defenders. As long as you got, you know, playing defenders playing this week, I'd probably start them, unless they're obviously they're like maybe you don't really like them at all. So I'd say obviously Saka, if you get a league that he starts, I would buy him. I think if not, then Bowen is definitely a buy. And then obviously, if you're looking for a spicy punt in midfield, definitely Mitoma or Minte, consider them, or one of the Arsenal mids like maybe Trossard. And for forward position, as we said already, we discussed it many times, is Evanilson and Welbeck, 1 and 2, and number 3 of my favorite would be probably Wissa. So that probably covers it. And yeah, let's move on to the goals considered trends. This is a very good slide actually. That was done. This was actually done by Meerkat. He posted on X, and then obviously I grabbed it from there and obviously put it onto this slide. Shout out to Meerkat. But yeah, Kanji, if you want me to basically cover this, I could, because I'm not sure if you can see the
Mm.
slides or not.
Yeah, please, yeah, please,
Yeah,
please.
so strikers, so Leicester, basically, they've considered 26 goals to strikers, and next up is obviously Evanilson. And come on, like I don't want to say this is the reason why I'm picking him, but even on the eye test, the guy looks really, really good. But he gets most of the big chances from Bournemouth, and that lands on him. And look, Leicester, come on, we've targeted them whole season. Why do we have to change now, right? Why do we have to all of a sudden overthink? I don't want to overthink in the last game week. Just keep what's working. Don't try to fix something that's not broken. Leicester's a fixture target. Southampton is a fixture target. And I'm keeping the game very simple. I'm bringing Evanilson, and they've considered 26 goals to versus striker, so that makes sense. And then you got Ipswich. They've also considered 23 goals to opposition striker. Next up is obviously Fulkrug, Bowen, and Kudus. Personally, I don't think either Fulkrug or Kudus is a buy. Maybe Bowen. What do you guys think, guys?
Yeah, just keep it simple for Bowen, man. Like
Yeah.
they're not really the team that scores multiple goals, and Bowen is the talisman.
Yep. I mean, I'm not sure if people will go and punt on Delap, but yeah, West Ham has conceded 20 goals to the strikers as well. But again, those numbers are a bit skewed because it wasn't under Potter; it was under a different manager when they were considering goals for fun. And then you got Wolves; they considered 20 goals. Guys, this is a problem. Wissa is up next, and he's just about to be 90%. What are we doing with Wissa? Because that's a problem. This is a problem. Like, I
Man,
know we're buying Evanilson. Like, if I'm defending my rank, say for someone sitting in the like so my position, which is basically I'm slightly, I guess, defending. I'm not really going attacking mode right now. Would you consider Wissa ahead of Evanilson? Because that's the only dilemma I probably have. Like, do I consider just protecting my rank? Because Evanilson is only 4% on right now, guys. Only 4%
but
on.
like, how much does your rank change?
Oh,
Mm,
significant. He was the biggest threat. He was 67% threat last week.
But what do you want? Do you want top 2K? Like, if it is that life and death to you? Like, what do you
No,
want?
no.
Where do you
I
want to
want to
finish?
get top 1K list, bro. If I couldn't win it, I know. Let me get inside the
Mm.
Then you
1K
can't
list,
Three
bro.
you can't
digits, bro.
defend your rank.
3
Then you
digits.
can't
Yeah,
defend your rank.
yeah,
You can't just go Wither and if you defend your rank, you're sitting 1.7K, 1.6K, 1.9K in around there. If you go Vanilson or a Welbeck or even a Gruder or a differential,
yeah.
you're looking at maybe hopefully 13 points, and that's where you're going to get the rank gain as well as your captaincy.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the numbers are scary though, man. The numbers are scary because he's in the same ballpark as Salah and Haaland for non-penalty XG goals this season. He's matched
I
them.
do think I do think he's one of the most underrated and underappreciated FPL assets. He's got 19 non-penalty goals. That is phenomenal. What
I
a
know we gassed up
phenomenal.
with the whole season, but I think we slept on Wissa, you know. I think we
We
slept on
have, yeah.
Wissa the whole season.
100%, 100%, bro.
We
Yo,
slept on him.
Wissa and Bouma are both on 19 goals. I think both of them are looking to probably get to 20
But Mbeumo's
going
got
into the
like
last
6
game of the
pens,
season.
bro. Mbeumo's got like 6 or 7 pens. Like Mbeumo's
Exactly.
numbers are fraud, bro. He's a fucking fraud. I'm sorry, bomb. I don't like the guy, bro. He's been killing me every single week. But yeah.
Gone
Look,
against Wissa for 37 game weeks. You have to go against him one more time, bro.
I
Reach for
know,
the
right?
stars. Enjoy game week 38, man. Like you've been
Yeah,
through so many highs and lows. You were like
yeah,
top 200 at one point,
yeah,
100 to like 1.7K. Still a fantastic rank, but you've
yeah.
had that dip. So
Bro.
you've experienced pain already. What's one more week of pain?
Facts,
Nothing,
bro.
bro. Go for it.
Facts,
Glory,
bro.
hopefully glory.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
inshallah. And then you got obviously Southampton. They consider 19 goals, by the way, to their wingers, right wingers. And this is why I mentioned Stark in regards to captaincy. You know, when we talked about it, I know we're going to cover that in the next slide as well. Saka slash Waneri, bro. If we get a news that Saka starts or benched, I think Waneri could be a really good punt. Like, especially if you're on free hit, right? What's your thoughts? They
Yeah.
consider 19 goals, guys. That's like same amount of goals that strikers are teams are considering versus their strikers. And Saka,
Yeah.
bro, like, yeah, that's really impressive.
Yo,
Um,
If Saka starts, bro, he could cook, man. Especially for people that own him already. I don't think people will look to bring him in. They're probably looking to sell Isak. So you're chilling with the
yeah,
best differential in game week 38 if you own Saka.
hopefully, man, hopefully. Palace have considered 17 goals to strikers, and up next is obviously Luis Diaz Jota. I don't think anyone is looking there personally, but that's not relevant. And then you got Welbeck versus Tottenham. They consider 17 goals, and Welbeck is next. So when we compare Evanilson and Welbeck, I like my chances well Evanilson much more, Kanji. If we're talking about
Mhm.
data and numbers.
Yeah, positional matchup, it's excellent. Like that's why
Yeah,
the AIs prefer Evanilson, and he's at home, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I
And the
like the
last, yeah,
narratives though. Can you guys hear me now? Yeah.
yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah, my
Yeah,
laptop lagged. Sorry. I just think it's a one-off situation where Spurs have just won their first trophy in 17 years. They've been
yeah,
partying every night till 5 a.m. This is like a unique circumstance where like there's no trends for this. Like you can't look back at trends for
yeah.
this. It's a one-off scenario where they've been absolutely gattered. They're going to be playing a weak lineup, and Brighton have to win. And
Do you
Tottenham
remember
are
last
just
season?
defensively poor.
Do you remember last season where Aston Villa were already drunk going into game week 38 and Palace, everybody was targeting Eze or Elise on the final day. and Palace battered them 5-2. They scored 5 goals. Do you remember?
Yeah, man. And Brighton have been actually in really good form recently. Like really good form.
Bro, guys, I
That
don't have enough
Gruder looks
transfers,
like a
man. Enough.
baller.
You guys mentioned not enough, bro. You guys are scaring me. Fuck off now, bro. Let's move
Right,
on.
what's your thoughts? What's your guys' thoughts? Guys' thoughts on taking a hit in game week 38? Because it's only one game week, so the less amount of game weeks, it's hard for it to pay off. But the amount of goals that get scored in 38 historically, do you think a -4 it's worth it in game week 38? Because there'll be a lot of people contemplating it, and they'll be like, "Is it worth it? I'm trying to catch my mini league rival. I'm trying to maintain." What's your guys' thoughts?
Depends on the position. I think if you're chasing, yeah, it's worth it. Even if you're
Yeah,
defending,
it
it's worth it
depends
because
on, yeah.
even if you're defending, it's worth it because say for example you have a 10, 20 points lead on one of your mini league rival or even 20 points lead, right? And a lot of people are DMing me saying that they have 19 points, 20 points lead on their rival, and the rival have Wissa and they don't have Wissa, for example, they have Cunha. So I told them, yeah, just get Wissa and then defend your lead. So even if that means taking a hit, yeah. So I think
See,
yes,
I'm
depending on what your goal is, I think it can be worth it. Yeah,
I'll give it a unique circumstance. Let's say you own Salah,
yeah,
someone else doesn't own. Your mini league rival is going to captain Saka, and you don't own Saka, right?
yeah.
I'd say it's worth taking a hit if you're trying to protect your mini league score, your mini league position.
If
Take a
Saka
hit for
starts,
Saka.
yeah, without
If
on my heartbeat, I'll get Saka, bro, because his ceiling is
you
stock is 10 points minimum, 10 points.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Saka is
you,
worth it, bro.
you just for -4. Oh, I'm losing -4 to him. Well, you could be losing 32 points to him if you didn't bring Saka in.
Exactly, bro.
Like, of course, it's a -4, but the bigger picture is Saka as captain. He could be dunking on your head if he gets that start versus Southampton.
Exactly. So I think, bro, Saka is definitely. I would say there are a few players I'll take a -4 for this week, and that'll be Evanilson, Saka, Welbeck, because of how much you guys are gassing him up, but that's not my gut is telling me. But you guys are just capping him up. You guys are brainwashing me, so probably Welbeck. But no, I'm not gonna say Welbeck. Just Evanilson and Saka. That's it. Because I see those two assets having a ceiling of 10 points minimum. That's their ceiling. Like, or 9 points for Evanilson. Sorry, because I'm expecting to get 1 goal at least. So 1 goal and 3 bonus. So I'd say 9 points for Evanilson, 10 points for Saka.
Yeah, you're saying floor. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. I think it's all situational, right? Like, I wouldn't
Yeah.
be taking I try my best to avoid hits as much as possible, but if you like the scenario and if you don't like the player in your team, then you really gotta consider it. So, it just depends if you're in chase mode or you're protect mode, so you have to
Yeah,
make the decision
I
yourself.
think in both scenarios it's worth it, especially if you play for mini league. I think if you go for OR, it's a different conversation. If you are defending your overall rank, it's a different conversation, I think. But yeah. All right. Now we're moving to captaincy for game week 38, and this is gonna be the most fun section we're gonna talk about. Look at these numbers, boys. I cannot believe you guys are gonna sit here with a straight face and tell me if Saka starts, Salah is a better captain than Saka. Look at these freaking numbers, bro. Southampton has considered 84 freaking goals. Palace have considered only 50, bro. And you might are telling me you're gonna captain Salah ahead of Saka, bro. Why? Why? Please explain.
Um, well, okay, Saka's not gonna play 90 minutes, right? There's also a chance Saka doesn't start. Um,
No, we're going with
but
the hypothetical scenario
let's
that he
assume
starts.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
If Saka's starting, that's the assumption.
Mm.
Oh, it's very tempting, I can't lie. I had this bookmark to Captain Saka in game week 38. Like, I'm not just gonna say Saka's a bum, but in terms of output in the Prem, he's been dodging points like since he's come back, basically. Like his return rate's been horrendous. So from an output perspective, and even Salah at the end of the season, this is what he's done. Even last year, year before, end of season Salah, he's just not as good as he is in the beginning. It's as if his GA has washed up. But I'm a Liverpool fan. I have a little bit of bias. Salah has been my guy. He's done enough damage to me where he's ruined my FPL season because I've gone without him. So I just have to breathe caution into people in terms of backing against Salah on the final day, specifically if I had, for example, a triple captain. I don't even think I'd even put it on Saka just because of the X minutes. I'm just an X minutes merchant, right? Like Salah has the 1 GA from tying the record, 2 GA from breaking the record. He has the motivation. Liverpool are at home. Hopefully Trent starts if you're captaining Salah. And like I honestly think Salah has, you know what? It's you're splitting hairs. If you want to be defensive, it's definitely Salah. But if you're looking to be differential, Saka is definitely the choice if he's starting, right?
I don't even think it's differential though, Kanji. I just think what is optimal. Which player do you think, like on or heart to heart, like hand to your heart, right? Look at these numbers. You're a numbers guy. Look at these freaking numbers, dude. I sent you the graphics. So look at these numbers. You telling me you're a numbers guy. You're looking at these fucking numbers and you're telling me that Salah is a better captain than Saka. You are literally telling me, no, I'm not an analytical manager this week. What you're telling me, in other words, is that I'm an
Yeah, but
agenda
I think
manager or I'm a
you're
narrative manager. Then that's what you're telling me. Narrative manager now.
Bro, you're
I'll
missing the
obviously
most
come in and
important
give my
number.
opinion on it.
Go
Hold on.
on, Stock. Sorry, go
Yeah,
on, Stock. Yeah.
yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Mark, they've won the FA Cup. They in Ibiza midweek, and
Fuck.
Glasner came out saying what happens in Ibiza stays in Ibiza. So they're gonna be it's the title lift. They're gonna put on an absolute performance at home at Anfield versus a rotated Palace on the beach. No Mark Yehi. When Crystal Palace played Aston Villa away without Mark Yehi just the other like a couple of game weeks ago in the double game week, he conceded 5 and they lost. Was it 5-1 with no Mark Yehi, no Adam Wharton as well, and I also believe there's someone else that's missing. I can't
Adam
remember who it
Morton. There's
is.
no Adam Morton,
I
no
just think
Gahey.
Saka is a fantastic captain because Southampton have so many injuries. I know that Harwood Bellis is out, Walker Peters is out. Bednar, is it who's the other centre back that's out that plays for them?
Yeah.
So Bateman mentioned, I think
Oh,
Bednarek
they're
and
yeah.
KWP. KWP is also out.
You got it right, bro.
So look, this week, listen, for me, boys, if Saka starts, that's my favorite captain number one. Like, if you look at the numbers, it's day and night between Salah and Saka. And if you're talking about fixtures, it's also like day and night. Like Saka by far is the best fixture. The only thing that I would give an advantage to Salah is that the fact that he's playing at home, and it's the fact that he's going for his goals and assist record. But listen, Salah is the type of player that every week is trying to get GA. Like, just because you want something doesn't mean you're gonna get it. Like, it doesn't always work like that. We don't always get in life what we want. Like, let's go spade a spade. Just because I want this, I'm gonna get this. No, it doesn't work like that, bro. Especially when you try too hard to get something, it may even be more difficult. Like, I feel like Salah might be trying too hard to get GAs. So when you're trying too hard,
Yeah.
it may not come to you, bro. Like, I feel like he's not really letting the game come to him now. He's forcing it. So I don't know, bro. Like, I get it. I get you guys are playing the narrative, drunk Palace, drunk Ibiza, whatever. But at the end of the day, bro, like, Palace is not a better fixture than fucking Southampton, bro. With all due disrespect.
I mean, yo,
It's
the
not.
the
It's
thing is
not.
with this
It's
data,
not. But Liverpool are a better team. Liverpool are by far the better team, and they're
yeah.
at
So
home at
you're
Anfield on the last game of the season, and they're lifting the trophy. So they're going to want put on a performance in front of their fans, and they're going to want to get Salah those 2 goals. He's got more motivation than Saka. Southampton's the better fixture. That gap in fixture quality is bridged by the fact that there's no Mark Yehi. It's going to be Lerma left centre back. You're missing Adam Wharton, who's a vital cog in their team. And away at Man City with Lerma left centre back, they lost 5-2, and it was the most open end-to-end transitional game. Salah feasts in those kind of games. But both are great
right. So
captains. But I lastly, Kanji, if you own Saka, you'll gain rank from whatever he gets anyways. He's going to probably be under 50% EO. Whereas Salah, if you own Saka, captain Saka, you're going to want Salah to blank. So if you captain Salah, you gain from Salah, and you also gain from whatever Saka does because his EO is not going to be over 100%.
My
So
argument
from an
comes
yeah,
EO
down.
so
perspective,
I was just researching Kayman and Stark. Like, this is very relevant for you, right? So captaincy EO going into the last game week of the season, I think it actually does matter. I mean, if you have to look at your wrinkles, Cayman, you're 10 points off like a 3-digit finish. Stark, you're 10 points off a top 100K finish. So EO actually is really important this week. And I think if you want to get that goal, if you believe in your team, you look at the rest of your squad, you have a good differential or two you believe in, you think you can beat the template, captain Salah and just don't even overthink it. But like, there's a chance you captain Saka and Salah because I know what you're saying, man. The fixture data is definitely pointing Saka, no doubt, but it's missing the most important number on here. And Salah plays 90 minutes, and Saka won't. And
Last
like
I
that's
checked,
where the gap is offset.
the 90 minutes doesn't equate to FPL points, by the way. Goals and assists does. Thank you very
It
much.
doesn't. But look at what Isak did when he played Brighton. Right, there's like 3 chances for potential penalty, and because he was on the pitch, he got the pen and he got you the captain points. Right,
Isak is
like
the last player
those
to
little
compare when it comes
things.
to expected minutes, bro.
No, I know, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like, it's like those
No, I
little
get it.
chances, bro.
I
The
get it.
pen at the last minute, bro. These guys don't care. It's
Actually,
all
I
on
need
the
to find out,
counter,
Benji,
last
if you're in the
minute, bro.
chat, yeah. I need to find out who is the ref for that game because I feel like the ref might just be rigging the game and giving Salah Salah's gonna have a 90 minutes full of absolute stinker. At the end, he's gonna give him 2 penalties, isn't it? Who is the damn ref for this
Oh,
game, bro? I need to find out.
I'll research it in the meantime.
Yeah, bro.
But I wanted to ask you guys one
Yo,
question, right? So, like just to like wrap up the captaincy section, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you had to pick a differential captain, obviously people are going to be looking at Salah and Saka. If you take those two out of the equation, who would you guys consider?
Evanilson.
I don't think Evanilson has that 18-pointer in him, that 16-pointer haul. I think he's so consistent at getting like that goal, assist, but because I've owned him in a draft league, so I've been seeing what he's been doing like every game week for multiple game weeks now, and he's just so consistent. But I don't know if he has that
Sure.
like captaincy haul in him. Is he guaranteed to be on pens? I think it's
Yeah,
close between him and
yeah.
Semenyo,
The
regardless
way
who's on
Semenyo took
pens.
that penalty, bro, I did not like the penalty the way he took it, bro. So even if he was on pens, I would not be confident as the owner if he was on a pens. Yeah, it's shocking. The form of this shocking.
Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz is an interesting one, but who owns Luis Diaz? I know people were giving Bowen a shout against Ipswich.
Yeah,
Mm,
Evan Olsen and Bowen could be differential captaincy. I think Saka is a differential captaincy. Let's be honest. I don't think many people will captain him. The mainstream media is hyping up freaking Salah, so the sheeps are gonna
Yeah,
follow
yeah,
Salah.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so like, let's say you take Saka and Salah out of it, you came in, you'd be on Evanilson, and Stark, where would you be?
I would go for Danny Welbeck, honestly, probably. Adam.
Damn.
Do you know what I've
Alright.
realized? Game week 38 is basically you and Stark are basically narrative driven. So you all are basically picking players based on narratives. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Why, bro? Makes sense. You clocked it,
But
bro. Game week 38 builds your narrative, bro.
the context of a game of football beforehand can help you predict what's going to happen.
Fair enough.
Look at
Mm.
Tottenham and Man United before a Europa League semi-final or something. The
We
context
was
around what lineup they're going to play,
yeah.
us pick assets that got hauls, and I think it's more important in 38 than ever.
No, I get
This
it,
team's on the beach.
but then also we targeted Wolves. We expected Wolves to batter Palace because they were drunk and whatnot, and that didn't happen. So
We
Yeah.
targeted Palace. Did we really target Palace? Does anyone own triple Wolves then? Like, I'm
I had
confused. Who
double
owns
Wolves, and
triple Wolves?
I had double Wolves, and the narrative going to the game week was, oh, if you have double Wolves, Eight Nuri and Cunha is gonna feast. That was the narrative, but that didn't happen. So
They would have. They would have if Cunha started.
well, Eight Nuri
Yeah.
did,
Cunha
and he
started,
didn't
they
do
would have.
anything. Eight Nuri started, and he still got
Yeah, but he
fucking
didn't.
considered 3 goals.
Yeah, but Nuri's a defender. It's completely different to Cunha, who takes all set pieces and is on pens.
No, but Eight Nuri is
Facts,
also an
bro.
attacking defender. But yeah, anyways, that's beside the point. But I just feel like
It's
you
not the
guys might
same,
be.
yeah.
I just feel like you guys might be reading in too much into the narratives.
Yeah, that's
Right,
okay. That's
you're
okay.
using
You're
one
right.
example
You're
though.
right.
You're using one example of Crystal Palace. I could go through the league in the last 5 game weeks and reel up about 5 examples, the complete other side. So there's
No, I
more
get it. No, I get it.
examples
Yeah,
that favor the
both sides. There's
narratives
examples.
that don't.
I just think don't make all your decisions just simply based on narratives. Also use and think rationally and logically. Some decision could be made logically. For example, if Southampton are missing key players such as Bednarek and they have no centre back, like we should expect Arsenal to batter them and we should load up on Arsenal assets rather than say, oh, Brighton who are playing away versus Spurs who are off a win, off a high, and expecting that they're all going to be on the pitch drunk. I think that's a bit unrealistic, to be fair.
So like just to wrap up the captaincy section, like
Yeah.
if I had to pick my differential captain in 38, it's Martin Odegaard. Odegaard destroys these teams that sit back. I expect Arsenal to score 3 or 4 goals easily. He's going to be nailed for 90 minutes, I'd assume. He'd be on penalties if Saka starts or doesn't start. Doesn't make a difference. Yeah, so that would be my differential 38 cap if you wanted to pick one.
Wait. Did
Shall
you
we
just
move on?
say Odegaard? Wait. Did you just say Odegaard would be on pens regardless if Saka starts or not?
Oh, no, no. If Saka starts, then it's better because he has a link up play. If he doesn't start, he's on pens, right?
Okay, fair enough. It's a good shout. Not many people have spoken about Odegaard, but you see, Kayman, let me ask you this question, right? Imagine Palace Liverpool is like the Man City Palace game where it's end-to-end transitional, right? And you've
Yeah.
captained Saka. Really want to be watching that game when Salah, please blank, Salah, please miss this one-on-one, please miss this pen, or would you rather just be cheering him on and also cheering on Saka because whatever Saka does, you gain rank anyways because not everyone's going to go there.
No, you've got a good point. Listen, I'm not saying that. Yeah, I would definitely consider Salah, but it's like my gut is not telling me to go to Salah captain in it. So I gotta follow my gut, man. I don't wanna like I'm just gonna follow my gut,
All right,
bro.
I'm not here to talk you.
Yeah, I
Go with your
just
gut. It's worked. It's
I
Yeah,
f-
worked
yeah.
I
phenomenal
feel
all
like
season.
I feel like if Saka is starting for Southampton, I think even if Salah does well, I think Saka can match him even in 70 minutes. Like obviously Salah's ceiling is
As-
goal and assist. I think Saka has the same ceiling, goal and an assist. So the only downside
Mm.
is the fact that obviously the minutes. But again, I would take that on with the fact that he's got a better fixture. So his minutes are much better in that fixture compared to Salah's minutes versus the fixture, which yeah. So
Yep.
but
So let's move on to
yeah.
the RobT data for the top projected goal scorer going into game week 38. We've got Salah, of course, top of the list. Keep in mind he's a midfielder. And then we've got Isak there. If he does start, look how good Isak is, man. And Danny Welbeck is there. Evanilson is there. Saka is there. Lots of great differentials. So I mean, these numbers don't surprise me. I'm just surprised to see Welbeck as high as he is.
Go on. Sorry, what did you stop?
Yeah, that's basically it. I'm just surprised to see Welbeck this high, but that's all I can take from this data.
Callum Wilson. I think I'm more surprised with Callum Wilson being so high. Why do you think the odds makers have Callum Wilson ahead
Yeah,
of Isak?
I assume I
Where is?
assume
Yeah, go on.
I think the odds are based on if like a player starts, right?
Yeah,
Isak is out, then Wilson will get the odds, right?
bro, man, like Callum Wilson, bro. I remember last year, bro. He freaking destroyed me, bro. In the last game week,
Yo,
this
that's
this
a
is worrying,
crazy
bro.
pick, bro. I can't lie.
Callum Wilson is so high, bro. It's crazy. And that fraud Haaland, he every fucking week I open this RobT FPL. This is why I can't take RobT FPL data seriously, bro. Every fucking week I open this, Haaland is on top, and that bum pulls off a stinker every week, bro. When are they gonna learn, bro? When are the odd makers are gonna learn? No, honestly, seriously, start. Every week I see this guy top 3. Doesn't matter, bro. It's like he's always up there. Get that guy out of here, bro. Guys like Haaland, Wilson. I wouldn't have Wilson and Haaland there. That's just that's suspect. I'd have Evanilson number 2 or number 3, to be honest. I would have Evanilson ahead of Isak. But yeah, I don't necessarily agree with these projections. Never really
Yeah, no worries.
never
This is just
really
what the
like
betting market tells us. Doesn't mean
yeah.
anything, just
What
what
do you
the
think
betting
of?
says.
What do you think of Haaland for Fulham? Because Fulham have been quite leaky recently. People
Well,
still own him, don't they, Haaland?
you say they've been leaky, but you know what, Stark, like the way they play is causing them to be leaky. Do you know what I mean? Like they're really going after them. Like I remember watching that Brentford game, bro. They were committing numbers up top. They were committing mad numbers, bro. So obviously, when they commit numbers and they're in transition, clearly they're going to be on the back foot, right? And they like to make more mistakes and concede goals. So maybe it's something to do with the style of play, right? Because normally they don't concede too many goals, Stark. Because I don't remember really targeting them as a fixture, right, throughout the season. So
Yeah,
maybe
exactly. Good
something
point.
has changed there. Like
Yeah,
even as
and
a Marmoush
I
owner, like I'm a bit nervous. Like I don't know if I should take a hit to bring in, say, maybe the guy you guys are hyping up, Welbeck, because if they actually play a low block, I'm not so sure if I like Marmoush in that fixture, bro. Because we've seen what they've done with the low block versus City, right?
yeah, you're not gonna take a hit to switch Marmoush to Welbeck, man. You're chilling.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
No stress. Enjoy your differential, bro. Nothing to worry about.
yeah.
Bro, I want the
Um,
Kayman juice, bro. I want Kayman to get Welbs so he can give us the Kayman juice. This guy's gut is
Nah,
clairvoyant.
bro. Nah, bro.
This
Nah.
guy's
It's not
gut
that.
clairvoyant. He got
Nah,
Elanga in, double-digit haul, Mateta. Like,
nah,
that's
bro.
obviously why you're doing so well. Your gut's been paying off massively this
Yeah,
season.
yeah. It's
You know
not really
what? I
no.
might
Yeah.
just blindly copy. Might just blindly copy your moves.
Nah, bro. Nah, nah, nah,
Get
nah.
Evanilson
Listen,
for the Kayman juice, bro.
no, no, bro. Listen, I know Bateman mentioned something like why are people questioning his approach? I think the questioning is really good. Sometimes it opens my my eyes to something that I may not have picked up and seen, and you never know everything. And sometimes I feel like too much information is also not good for you. And at the end of the day, if you have a dilemma and it's a 50-50 close one, back yourself. But if something that you're not sure about, it's always good to have a healthy discussion on. In regards to Saka
mhm.
versus Salah captaincy, I'm sure my heart to heart that Saka is a better captain than Salah, regardless of what the narrative is, simply because what's on the paper. Like one guy's playing Southampton, one guy's playing Palace. I know football is not black and white, and there are a lot more things in factor. But we've seen Southampton the whole season. I've got a sample size of the whole season, seeing this team how horrible they are, especially in a particular position. Why am I going to try to overcomplicate things and overthink this and go target Palace? We've not targeted Palace the whole season. No one ever said, let me captain a player versus Palace. Only game week 38 we're saying that, by the way. Only in game week 38 we said that.
Mm. Facts, bro. And
The
just
whole
to
season
mention,
we didn't
like,
say that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No one
like
was
one thing I
questioning your
think
approach, though.
No.
To,
No.
to
Bro,
question
like
someone's approach is how you get to your decision. No one questioned your decision making.
Yeah, that's
I was
true.
just we're having a conversation, and then I
Yeah.
literally said, "Go with your gut. It's been working phenomenal all season."
don't worry.
Facts.
Like, bro,
I'm not worried. I'm just stating the fact.
yeah.
I'm far from worried,
Yeah,
bro. Don't worry
it's
about
fine.
that.
It's not the word. It's just, yeah.
No, the thing with Kayman is like,
Mm.
as he doesn't really boast about his rank. You see other people, they're posting their rank, they're saying, "Yo, I'm like top 5K in the world." Drop a question, and if you have a dilemma, I'll answer it, type of thing. He's not really that type of guy, and
That's
I really like that about Kayman. Like, as bad as his takes can be, as biased as he is about Bruno Fernandes, Manchester United, one of Kayman's best attributes is he's
Have I been
really
wrong about
not
Bruno
like
though?
boasting about his.
Have I been wrong about Bruno though? Have I been wrong about Bruno though? Hold on. Was I wrong about Bruno? Have I not said the whole season he does more harm than good? And I've been proven right at the end. Come on, guys, admit it. That guy lost the ball 27 times in the final. Like, you cannot argue that. I'm sorry, 27 times. And the goal we considered is because of him. Like, I'm sorry, Kanji, you mentioned him, bro. I have to go all out now. I'm sorry. I have not been wrong about him, bro. I have not
Oh,
been wrong about him.
you've
Like,
unleashed the
he's
beast.
a bum, bro.
Oh
Sell that for
God.
to Saudi, bro. Go learn Arabic, buddy. Like, come on, man. Get out of here, bro.
Wait, what's this?
Oh,
Top
sorry, bro.
projected scorers.
Sorry, which one?
Salah's at the top. Where's Saka, man? Against
Yo,
South.
why Saka? You know what? This is gonna push me to even captain Saka even more, because I actually hate. Like, I disagree with you so much, bro. Yeah, man. I'm gonna put you. I think this just might have pushed me over the edge. You know that. This might have just
No,
triggered
but
some button in me, bro.
this is just XG. This isn't XGI. Like Saka's very balanced. He gets assists as well. Like, he
But
gets a lot
how
of
can you
assists.
say Havertz is ahead of Saka? How can you say Welbs, Wilson, Haaland, and Isak is
Yeah,
ahead
I
of
don't
Saka,
get
Because
bro?
that.
yo,
I don't get.
he's a creator. He's a creator, bro. He doesn't just get goals. A
But
merchant, you know.
Oh, it's just
I don't know,
XG,
bro.
isn't it? I get what you're saying. It's
I
not
don't know, bro.
XGI.
Fair enough. All
Yeah.
right. By the way, just for
The fact that
myself,
he's on tens, like
yeah. I added this by the goals considered charts from Meerkat. If you guys see all the red dots, that's where all Saka operates. So hopefully Saka bags. You guys have any comments on this positional thread or charts?
I love Meerkat's work on X, man. If you don't follow him already, make sure you do. The guy creates unbelievable content for us, graphics on X that we can use to make decisions. Look
Facts,
at the
bro.
red dots, man. Saka's feasting, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro. This is all where Saka lives at. He lives there, bro, in
Bro.
those red dots. Like, bro, come on,
Red
man.
dots then on Verdansk, bro.
And then you've got Ipswich. I mean, those who are interested in Bowen captain, similar to what Saka's position was, also on the right wing. Ipswich are quite weak, and Bowen does operate in that right wing spot. So those who are captaining Bowen, I do see him getting a return, although he doesn't hold very often. I don't know why. Why do you guys think Bowen doesn't get many bonus points? He's always getting slagged off bonus points. Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah,
Do
I
you know,
don't get
Kenji?
it. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Sorry. I'm honestly not following Bowen, but like he's really talismanic. Wherever West Ham get a goal, he's usually involved. I think he has the highest goal involvement percentage of any player in the entire league.
But he doesn't get bonus points though. He only gets 1 or 2 at max. He never gets 3 bonus points. Like, I don't think I don't remember ever him getting 3 bonus points, bro. I don't understand
Yes, well,
why.
but he's still getting the extra one or two. Like that's pretty consistent, you know.
No, but like Salah scores a freaking goal and he's getting all bonus points every single week, bro. Like, what's the difference?
Salah, like he's very
Bro,
creative.
Salah
I don't know. I
sneezes.
don't know.
Salah
I'll have
sneezes
to
and
look
he
at that.
gets
Like, exactly. Salah sneezes, he gets bonus points, bro. Bowen is getting shagged. That's all I'm gonna say, innit? Moving on to our PFC for game week 10.
Yeah, wait. I have to address this before we go on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on to the best portion of this FPL podcast. I absolutely love the PFC section. Let us know on the live stream, like let us know in the comment section. If you're watching this on a playback, let us know in the comment section as well. What is going to be your PFC going into game week 38? This has been an incredible run. You know, Sark was way clear of us. Go like a few weeks ago, I think he was like 6 or 7 points clear, but some of us have caught up, so I can't wait to break down how it's going to end. And I'm looking forward to it.
All right, let's move on to it now then, Kanji. This should have said 37, but last game week 37, my PFC, this is actually wrong. Apologies, I might have to fix the graphic. So meanwhile, while I fix the graphic, I'm gonna let you guys touch on the probably just on this slide for now. the Southampton one. Just 2 seconds while I fix this
No
graphic.
stress. Yeah, no stress, bro.
Hold
No
on.
stress, man.
Apologies,
So I think
guys.
Stark, you have are you
Can I ask you
your
guys a
second pick,
question?
right?
I've got a question.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I've got a question because the graphic's not coming up on the stream, right? So you
Mm.
take a hit to remove Palmer for Saka, even if you don't want to captain him.
No, can't. Can't. Like they're honestly in a
Why
similar
can't you?
position. Like
Why can't you?
you
Explain to me
listen, bro.
why you can't.
Okay. Saka's not playing 90 minutes, right? Both of them have something to play. Palmer has more motivation in 38 than Saka, man. They're fighting
He's
for the
had
Champions League.
motivation for 16 game weeks, Kanji, and he's not scored a goal from open play.
Saka is the same, bro. Saka's exactly the same.
Not the exact same.
Oh
Saka's been
well,
injured and playing in the Champions League and being rotated. He might have
I
blanked
know,
in the
I
last
know,
5 or
I know.
6.
Yeah, it's fixed by the way. It's
He's
working now.
playing
So yeah,
Southampton.
sorry, boys. It's fixed now.
Kayman,
So yeah,
Kayman, would you take a hit? Would you take a hit to get rid of Palmer to Saka, even if you
absolutely in
don't
a
want to
heartbeat.
captain
In a
Saka?
heartbeat. In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. If I know he starts, I swear to God I would.
Palmer,
I'm not even joking, bro.
Kanji's a bit of a Palmer. Kanji's a bit of a Palmer sexual, I've noticed.
Palmer
I
sexual.
got yo, yeah,
Yo,
yo,
Palmer
yeah, yeah,
sexual is crazy,
yo.
bro. What?
Pause.
Nah, bro. Nah, that's actually wild, bro. Nah, that's
God,
crazy.
you gotta give Palmer the respect he deserves. I know he's been blanking, but he's still the third highest scoring player in the game. You know.
Kanji, sorry, Stark. You know your opponent. Does he have Palmer?
Yeah, he does.
Oh shit. So, what do you think you'll get bringing
He
Saka for
brought him in.
Palmer?
Brought in Palmer for the United game. Well, I don't
So,
know if because he doesn't own Salah. He doesn't own Salah, so I'm locked on Salah captaincy, right? But a part of me wants to
Yeah.
bring Saka in because I think he could do phenomenal. I
yeah,
think he would gain me rank even
but
without captaincy. He's going to be low owned, not
I
low owned, but
I agree. But my question is to you is if he's gonna have Palmer, like I'm sure he's gonna probably switch from Palmer to Saka, right? Or Salah, one or the other, right?
that's what
Because it doesn't
I
make
think.
sense for him to go
I don't
without neither Salah or Saka. That's suicide for him.
I don't think Salah's feasible, but I think he'll get Saka. I think he's going to make the play of Saka captain because he knows I don't have Saka. But that's why I want to bring him in
Yeah.
and negate that rank loss, even if I don't captain Saka, and then just gain with Salah captaincy.
Facts. No, facts. I would do it. Yes, I would do it. For game week 37, by the way, it's just 36, I know, but game week 37, my punt was McNeil, Bruno, and so my punt was McNeil, and my flop was Bruno, and Watkins was captain. McNeil, obviously, Messi is always getting something. I think he's got an assist, and Bruno obviously flopped, and Watkins captaincy did work. So I went 3-for-3. Yeah,
Yeah, so I
yeah,
went into I was second pick, so I think actually I was first pick for this week. So I
yeah, he
went
was, yeah,
Jimmy Vardy for the narrative. I think he was on 199 goals. Like he finally got that goal to get into 200. He didn't even brace or anything, so it was perfect. In his last game, he's not even playing this week. So he delivered as the punt under 10% home. The flop was Jacob Murphy. I was nervous at some point, but he ended up flopping, so that was great. But Palmer cap. Palmer has destroyed me this year, but I gotta give Salah more respect. But yeah, so 2 out
Palmer
of 3 for
sexual.
me.
Palmer
yo.
sexual,
Yeah.
Kanji.
By the way, can I just remind you guys on the chat? By the way, yeah, if you're on the pod, if you're listening last week, remember when Kanji said Palmer and Watkins captaincy is not even close. This is how I said. This is how I said. This is I don't know what you guys talking about. It's not even close, in my opinion. It's not even close. I mean, Palmer's ceiling. Palmer's ceiling is a hat trick. Hat trick, by the way, guys. It's not a 1 return. It's not a 2 return. 3 return. That's his ceiling, boys. How much points did Palmer get? Can somebody remind me? Oh yeah, you got a yellow card at
Yo,
the end for time wasting. Yeah.
lukewarm Palmer, bro. Lukewarm Palmer, bro. I got food, man.
Yeah, go on, Stark. You had got your PFC.
Beto scored a hat trick offside. So this is the difference between Stark juice and Kayman juice. McNeil's getting assists that aren't even assists, yeah, and I'm getting offside hat tricks. That's the difference here
I've been
between me and
lucky as
Kayman.
fuck this season, bro. I've been lucky
This
as
Kayman
fuck.
juice is, trust me, do whatever he does, and you're getting green arrows every week this season. Yeah.
Oh, bro, this is crazy.
No, but bro, Beto not getting a return, man. Fuck. Okay, this is an example of narratives. Last game at Goodison, yeah, people going for McNeil, Beto's, whatever. Unlucky for Beto, but
Yeah.
Everton clean sheet, all returned.
Mhm,
McNeil done his thing.
mhm.
Who was it that scored? Njai, what a great pick he was, right? So that's
Yeah,
an example of a narrative paying off, right? Another
correct.
example, Jamie
Correct.
Vardy
Yeah.
chasing the record. What does he
Yeah.
do? He scores. And you want to clown me and Kanji for
But
narratives?
the difference was those games were at home, and you're talking about narratives. A guy that's playing away, which is Welbeck. So
Salah's narrative as well. Salah's playing at home
Salah's playing
for
at
trophy
home,
league.
yes, but then they're also on the beach. They don't really have anything to play for. There's no McAllister. There's no Trent. Salah and Salah has not been in the best form of his life either. He's not been in form.
When you say there's no McAllister, what has he been ruled out 100% of this
He's been
game?
ruled out 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
What's the deal there? I
McAllister,
don't understand.
no Trent. So who is gonna feed Salah? Who's gonna finish Salah's chances? It's very interesting. Very interesting.
That is the question. That is the
Well, I
question.
mean, he missed that. How did he miss that open goal tap in, by the way, in the last game week?
But that's Brighton. Brighton
What-
really went after them. I don't think Palace will go after them. But I think Palace are building the brick wall. I genuinely think they will building the wall. They have nothing to
Oh,
play for.
but
They're going to build the
without
wall.
further ado, don't forget to if you're watching, make sure you just like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I think we're just under 200 subscribers at the start of the podcast, so hopefully you can take us over the hump. Appreciate all the support we've received so far this season. Thank you, and let's move on to the game week 38, the final PFC section. Cayman. Oh, geez, what the league table?
Yeah.
How
So now,
close is
now
it?
before we move on to the next session, guys, can I just say, by the way, there is this fraud in this chat, right? His name is I don't want to mention it. We call him Walter White. I don't want to mention his name. This fraud, he was talking a big game. He was talking a big game when you had a comfortable lead. He was the biggest front runner, right? We were doing this PFC for fun. It was a really cool idea. Until he wanted to make it very serious, right? He was calling us out every week saying, "You guys are pussies. You guys are picking this Pedro rotation, Jao Pedro. What's his name? What's the other one? Pedro Porro rotation, right?" This bum last week, who did he pick? Pedro Porro as his flop. He's nervous, boys. He's nervous. We got to him. And what happened, right? Look at this tally now. Only 1 point lead, boys. It all comes down to this, ladies and gentlemen. Last game of the season, only 1 point difference. And you'll see what he does, right? Now let's move on to the next slide, right? Well, obviously, I picked my comfortable Pedro Porro. That's a lock. That's a lock. That's a lock. I want 3 for 3. That's a lock. He's not taking that from me this week. That's a lock.
I'm absolutely shocked. He's flopping Pedro Porro again. What a shock.
Listen, Pedro
Oh
Porro
my
is a
God.
lock.
If I put Joao Pedro and Pedro Porro in rotation every game week on flop and punt, I'd be 15 points clear of these guys.
Listen, Evanilson punt. Come on. If Evanilson blank versus Leicester, bro, I would crucify him. I'm sorry, I would crucify him. So, and then Pedro Porro, right?
Ooh.
Pedro Porro is a flop, right? And then you got Salah as captain. Salah is matching whatever these guys are doing, so that's done, right? So my hope and I'm praying is this, right? Eze gets an assist, Jamie assist versus Liverpool, and Welbeck absolutely fumbles, gets an injury in the first 10 minutes, and then he gets nothing. And then boom, we take the lead, boys. And we dance on his fool's grave, boys. That's what we do. Evanilson punt, Pedro Porro flop, Salah cap. We will be there, boys. Come on, we'll be there.
Can I just ask a question to the FPL community? Why the fuck do 16% of you own Pedro Porro? What?
The fuck,
Doesn't
bro.
make
Oh
sense.
man.
I don't get it. Why is he even available as a flop? Why do
Uh,
16% of the community own Pedro Porro?
Bro, Sharik needs to answer that question, bro. Sharik.
Bro, it does not make any sense, bro. I don't get it. This guy has been
Bro.
spamming Porro on rotation, flops, and getting points every week, so the guy's not getting any FPL points, and yet 16% of you own him in your team, and he's
No,
like
bro.
5.5
Wild.
million.
Come on, boys. It's okay. It's okay.
It's
Thank
probably
you,
dead.
guys.
They're
Thank you.
probably dead teams, bro. They're dead teams for sure. What do we think in
Kanji,
Stark?
you're next, by the way, I think. Or was it Stark?
No, no,
Stark, you're next.
Stark second pick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stark second big, go on, Stark.
Danny Wells is scoring a hat trick. Eze's flopping, bro. They ain't doing nothing, and Salah's gonna score at Anfield and break the record. I'm 3 for 3, bro. Lock it in. I've
We'll
won.
see. We'll see, bro. We'll see. Go on,
I
Kanji.
think I think you'll go. I think you'll go 2 for 3 Stark. There's a chance Kayman
Oh
goes
yeah.
3 for 3 and ties it. Yeah. Isaiah, I think he returned to Anfield last season. Risky punt. Oh, risky flop. Let's see what happens for you. But I'm left with the guy that has been like basically my differential the whole season, Antoine Semenyo. Last year, he's my differential. This year, and going into the last game week of the season, Semenyo is going to be the punt. I wanted Welbeck, I can't lie, but I'll be happy with Semenyo, no problem. Wood flop, I think going into the last game, I think Chelsea are away, but I don't know, man. Like something tells me there's something in the air. I think Chelsea generally are the better team. I think this is going to be one of the lowest scoring games of the game week. So happy to go against Chris Wood as I'm backing Chelsea to pick up a result. And yeah, captaincy. I got the Egyptian King. I mean, if I really wanted to win like PFC, I should probably switch this to somebody random like Semenyo or something like that for captaincy to try to actually win in case Salah flops. But I'll keep it on Salah because he's definitely going to return on the final day. And shout out to my boy, Thinking Cap Benji FPL with the TC, probably on Salah. So we're all going to be on it together, hopefully, from the end of the
You
game
should have
week.
just
So
picked Saka. You should have picked Saka for captaincy, Kanji.
nah. I don't want Saka captain, bro. He might not even start, bro. I don't want him.
Yeah.
I think he starts.
Moving on to the next slide for Gaming 38 team selection. Obviously, I think you're up, Kanji first.
Oh yeah, okay, perfect. So I've got my double Brentford attackers as they're looking to both be on 19 goals, trying to get to 20 goals each. Not going to spend a transfer on them. I honestly think that's fine. My midfield is excellent. I don't really plan to spend a transfer on there unless Isak is available. So okay, let's look at the team in particular, right? So walk like my entire like front seven is set. I'm happy to keep them for the season if for the last game week if everybody's fit. If Isak is declared fit, I like my team. I will consider Palmer to Saka. If not, I would even consider one of Wissa or Watkins to Welbeck, right? If Isak is fit. If Isak is not fit, then it's going to be Isak to Welbeck. Like it's as simple as that. And I did honestly consider I have 1.5 in the bank. I have the money to go from Konza to Ben White. I considered it, but I made that exact same move last season in Game Week 38 and Arsenal conceded. So I just don't want to relive the same mistake. And I'm sure they'll probably keep a clean sheet this time around. Um, but yeah, so those are my thoughts for my team. I'm sitting 320K, so if I could crack the top 300, it'd be nice, but I really don't care. I've been on the beach for a while, so that's my team for Game of 38. How about you guys?
Inshallah, it looks good, and I hope you get a green arrow, and hopefully you can get somewhat around 300k, and that'll be a really good finish. So let's move on
Thanks,
to
guys.
Stark's team. I think. Go on, Stark.
Happy with the midfield, happy with the defense. Wouldn't make a defensive transfer. Isak, like we've discussed, Evanilson or Welbs could get both of them and bench potentially Rogers or someone. But yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. I'm waiting for any news tomorrow before I make any moves, and everything we've discussed you'd have heard. So
So
Salah
just
cap locked.
so would you do Palmer to Saka for -4 if he starts?
I think potentially, yeah, I think I
Oh,
would.
and then you're saying Cunha to Evanilson, right? Or sorry, or Evanilson or what's it called? Welbeck, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
fair enough. That
interesting, man.
yeah,
Interesting for sure.
I like your team, bro. I just don't think your defense is strong, but yeah, you can't have a perfect team anyways. Everyone's gonna have some
Well, I
flaws.
think I
Yeah,
think everyone's hyping up Newcastle at home against Everton for a clean sheet, and Livramento is playing wing back. Cucurella is our top scorer in 2025, and it could be a close game.
yeah,
One of them could come out with a clean sheet. Could be a nil-nil draw,
Yeah,
and Raya against Southampton going for the clean sheet. I don't think it's as weak as what people think it is, to be honest.
hey,
fair
defense
enough.
is great.
To me, it looks weak. I think Cucurella and Nico is playing each other. I just feel like there's both scoring that game, but maybe I'm overthinking there. But yeah, you're right. You're right. Fair enough. Moving
It's
on.
not strong.
Yeah, it's not
Like,
strong.
I don't
Exactly.
have
Yeah.
best opinion West Wan-Bissaka Kirkes, but who does?
Yeah. True.
Uh,
Um.
yeah, before you move on, Kayman, before you get
mhm,
to your team,
mhm.
just let like the viewers know, like we'll spend an extra 10 to 15 minutes getting through every single question from top to bottom on the in the comment section. So while Kayman explains, if you have any questions, any dilemmas, let us know in the comment section. We're going to answer everyone's questions this week.
Yep. I do have to go to football though, so we'll have to wrap up in 7 minutes. So I'll do my team
Yeah,
quickly.
we can't dedicate that time, so we have to wrap it up.
Shit.
Yeah, we'll
All
wrap it up
right,
quickly.
all
Yeah.
right, Kayman.
Yeah, so just ask your questions as quickly as you can. But in regards to my team, I've already done my video and uploaded on YouTube. But yeah, you can check it out in detail. But simply, boys, I'm only doing one transfer, which is Cunha out for Evanilson, and that's about it. And that's how I'm lining up. Obviously, team looks just only one question I had. Would you guys start Nico Williams or 8 Nori in this team?
Nico Williams can get 2 bonus points even when they concede.
Okay, no, bro.
No, it's a
yeah,
close one, man. Honestly,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a close one. Yeah, but
who's
I'm sure we'll
Aït-Nouri
have a
playing?
discussion. Yeah,
Brentford.
yeah. Sorry.
He's playing Brentford,
Yeah,
Aït-Nouri.
Brentford at home. Yeah,
Who's he
Brentford at
playing?
home. 8 Nori's playing
He's
Brentford
very
at home.
Mm.
attacking. So like, if you
Mm.
don't think there's clean sheets in for either of them, go for the one who's most attacking, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's probably 8 Nori is the most attacking. And then question, obviously, if Trippier is fine and we get a leak that he starts, who would you bench between Konate and 8 Nori? Last question, by the way, and
Wow,
obviously we'll move
your
on.
defense is whack. Bro. I play Kanate and just pray.
I
Yeah,
don't
because
think it's terrible,
I
by the way,
think
if Trippier starts, but okay, fair enough.
I
Yeah, if
think we're
Trippier
gonna see
starts,
a
it's
solid
good.
Liverpool team. I think we're
So
gonna see a rock solid Liverpool performance, clean sheet, easy win, Palace on the beach, rotating a few assets. Yeah, I think definitely play Kanate. Easily score a bullet header.
true, true, fair enough. Thank you for
Sure.
that. That's about it. Let's just
Shall we
answer the
go through
questions
some
for the chat.
questions?
Yeah, go for it. That's fine.
Yeah,
Go.
so
No.
I've got so first one is El Sobari. So Eze slash Rogers up to a midfielder or Wood to Welbeck. Around like 7 million to spend in midfield.
I would keep Wood. I think Wood can definitely do something versus Chelsea. So for me, Wood is a keep, and I'll probably upgrade Eze to Saka if Saka
You
starts.
can't get to Saka. Can't get to Saka. It has to be
Bowen, Bowen,
7.0 or less.
Bowen.
If you can get to Bowen, then yeah, do that. The midfielder move. If
If
you can
not
get there.
Bowen, then it's a Brighton mid. What do you think, Stock?
What was the question again? Sorry, just next question. You guys done it. Just next
Yeah, yeah,
question.
yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Now.
No
We've done
problem.
it. Yeah.
Trying to find some questions. Yo, Isak and Sar to Salah and Welbeck for a hit.
No brainer.
Worth it.
No brainer.
Worth it.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, let's keep going. Bateman's hyping up below El Canoes.
Goodness. Yeah, yeah. Go on.
Just trying to see if we have any more questions. Start 8 Nuri or Nico Williams.
8 Nori. That was my question actually to you guys, but well, you guys say 8 Nori, right? If I'm not wrong.
Mm,
What the hell?
I think
Bro, that's
Brentford
honestly
score
a
though.
horrendous question, bro. That's a hard
I,
one.
I think Brentford score, man.
Yeah.
Easily. Like it's Brentford, bro.
But Chelsea at home as well.
Wolves,
You guys can need to score. I don't see how you don't score versus Forest.
of course, but you just know how Forest are gonna play. They're gonna just park the bus and counter us. Like we don't have a striker. We struggled to score against Man United. It was a Cucurella header. Like we could easily struggle to score in this game. Like there's so much on the line. It's gonna be a tight game.
You're right. You're right. Fair enough. So maybe you guys saying maybe Nico Williams then.
I think I would edge Nico Williams, but listen, man, it's close,
It's a
man.
close
It's
one. It's
very
a close
close.
one. Yeah. Let's not deal on it. Go on. The next question, Kanji.
ADB to Saka -4.
If Saka starts, absolutely yes. So gonna be on the deadline the decision. Saka and
Isak
Evanilson.
to
Yeah. Gone.
Isak to Welbeck or
Well,
Isak.
yeah. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah.
Look at Manu's question at the bottom. I'm kind of confused reading it. Two
Isak
free
to
transfers.
Welbeck and Rogers to Murphy to Bowen, or Murphy to Bowen. So I'd say Murphy to Bowen and Isak to Welbeck. Yeah,
Yeah,
Or
perfect.
Isak to
Bench Rogers,
Evanilson.
bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah,
I think there. Oh, so start Rogers or Wood.
Wood. Come on, he's on pens, bro.
Mm, yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
And the ref that's
I
refing
think
that
that's
game, you
it.
never know. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, guys, thank you so
That's
much
it.
for tuning in and listen. This is gonna be our final episode. I think we'll do another one to cover our whole season just review. But in terms of team selection
Yes.
and analysis, it's our final season. Look, we've really appreciate. I mean, I think we had like peak around 29 live viewers. Like you guys are actually amazing. Thank you guys so much for showing us all the love and support throughout the years, through the whole year. I mean, I've enjoyed myself doing this pod, especially meeting so many new people, including Stark and Kanji and obviously Benji and others. Everyone mentioned the chat as well. Like we've met so many people and we vibed together and we played like freaking Among Us and so many other games and whatnot. So listen, like thank you guys so much, and we appreciate you basically. And yeah, go on, Stark.
We've met some like the community is so diverse, right? Like we've interacted
Yeah,
with people from different countries, ages, ethnicity. Like I haven't personally met my overall goals this season, but I've enjoyed the journey because of the people I've met along the way. So just really glad that we've built this community and can't wait for next season.
yeah. Continue to show the support, boys, man. We're gonna continue to do this as much as we can until we absolutely cannot. And the more support you guys show us, the more we'll be encouraged to do this. And without you guys and you guys showing love, this doesn't happen, boys. If I'm being completely honest, because ultimately there is,
100%.
yeah, at the end of the day, you gotta dedicate and time and effort to this. You gotta take a time out of your day. We don't get paid for this, or we're all doing this out of our love and passion. And the fact that you guys are showing us love in our first season, we appreciate you. Continue to show us the love, and yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So just like one final thing, we do have a watch along planned for tomorrow. Kayman, will you be joining us? Hopefully.
I'm going somewhere. Unfortunately, I'm away. I'm not available. But
Okay, okay,
obviously,
okay, no problem.
yeah.
Okay, so it'll be Stark, myself, and hopefully Benji joins us as well from Thinking Cap. So we'll be live for the last game of the season. We'll be sweating out the games together. I'll be there conning Stark when Forest, inshallah, get out the results.
Inshallah, inshallah, bro. Wood, I need Wood to score. I'm rooting for Wood, even if he hurts my rank. I'm rooting for him. So, inshallah, he scores. And yeah, all the best luck. All the best of luck to you guys. Show us love on the watch along. Obviously, continue to be in the spaces. We'll obviously answer all your questions there if need be, and even leave a comment down below on the video. You know, if you have any questions. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Go on, Stock. You close it up,
100%.
mate. Stock.
Win PFC, and on that, and Chelsea are getting top 5. Chelsea are gonna whoop Real Betis. Anthony who, bruv?
The Anthony's gonna dunk on them. Chris is gonna dunk on them. We'll be there, boys. Peace out.